BoxingVoice.com.
Listen, anytime, any place, anywhere, I'll fight you in your back garden. Like a dumb Klitschko, I'll beat you, you bum. You're a bum.
I want to unify. Is he up for the challenge? Like I said, I declare war. You know, this is not a battle, this is war because I was born to this.
Why am I sitting in your spare room? Why you are sitting in your mum's spare rooms, just tickling your bollocks?
Come to see me, baby. No more hiding, no more ducking, no more dodging, no more excuses. Let's make the fight happen. Let's see who's the best. I know I'm the best. Are you up for the test?
I'm through. Hey, put somebody else up and give me an interview. What are you talking about? You never give me a fair shake. HBO needs to fire you. You don't know shit about boxing. You ain't shit. You're not shit. I wish I was 50 years younger and I'd kick your ass.
Negative. I'm good. I beat Polly. I left with his belt and his girl.
Fucking was too fast. But it wasn't so much about, it was just that he was so fucking fast. Fast.
Amazingly fast.
Fucking amazingly fast. I was like, I thought Freddie was in there fucking hitting me too. So.
Any of you radio personalities think you want smoke? Call me Mr. Chimney. I want smoke.
Yes. This is MCR. I'm Matt the Hipster Hunter. It's another edition of Mixed Combat Radio. It's going to be a fun show. It's already in a silly mood. Got off to a really weird start. Obviously, need to clear up some of this soundboard and look at it before I click certain buttons. But anyways, Rob, how you doing today? We have a lot to talk about, so I'm not going to have a huge intro. We have AJ news and discussions, Ortiz offers and lack thereof, or lack of accepting said offer. So I should reframe that. That was a bad way of framing it. Plus, obviously, all the fights this weekend, tons of stuff to break down, discuss. We have, I think, 12, 15 different topics of discussion we need to get to on this show. So it is jam-packed. Call in 323-870-4051. Call in on Skype, Mixed Combat Radio. I am Matt the Hipster Hunter. Rob, how you doing, man? It's been a...
Yeah, I'm really good right now.
Oh, yeah, I know you are.
That was good. I don't know it was even picked up on. I think you might have got away with it.
No, there's no way, right?
No one said anything.
That's impossible.
But
you are
anyway.
right. No one's saying anything. And let's be honest, PD would be in there making jokes. So,
well, PD self-confession earlier on in the chat is, I'm high as.
He might be asleep already.
he might have fell off. Yeah. Welcome everybody. Obviously, hit that thumbs up on your way in. Plenty to talk about. Bunch of obviously, load of news. Matt was out in his hometown, LA, doing his thing. Ventured far and wide to go and meet the great Eddie Hearn. But yeah, done his thing. Got the soundbite. What was it? I'm going to expose Ortiz.
Oh, we're gonna play it. I got it. Don't worry.
All right.
Oh no, they heard it. Thank you, Matthew. Somebody heard it. I knew somebody had to hear it. Thank you. Thank you.
Just a cheap plug.
Yeah, cheap.
So cheap, it was free. Yeah.
Anyways,
we're
obviously going to talk about.
This is great banter. It really is.
Yes.
But yeah, obviously, like Matt said, we'll get to the clip. What everyone's talking about today: Luis Ortiz and offers and Eddie and this, that, and the other. But yeah, Matt, shout out, went out, got credentialed, got the soundbite, got Michael Benson sharing it. Yeah, Michael Benson, the king of boxing information, shared it. Anthony Sims Jr., shout out to him. He retweeted Matt's interview. So yeah, let's just get into it, Matt, because there's a whole bunch of stuff, and it's already 10 at night.
Yeah, we do have so much to get to, so let's get into it. But quickly, I want to quick shout out to Cynthia Conti at the press conference, because of all the people that do know me in the boxing media sphere, Most of them were at this event because I've been in LA events, right? And I haven't gone to a boxing media event in some time, right, Rob? Since TBV, probably was the last time I went to an actual boxing media event. And Cynthia was the only person there that like came across the room, gave me a hug, asked me how I was doing. Obviously, congrats us and our channel for what we've done. We talked a little bit about the industry and some things that she's working on later, and I'll talk about maybe some other time. That's her own business, but definitely support her and what she's about to do next from Post Ring Magazine. And it was just nice. Shout out to her, because most people in boxing are assholes. So for Cynthia to go out of her way to sort of say hi to me, congrats, us, the channel, shout out to her, man. Go support what she does.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, which was the highlight of the day? Meeting Eddie Hearn or getting a hug off Cynthia Conte?
Look, I mean, feeling an appreciation from anyone within our industry is nice, right? For somebody in our line of air quotes work to say that we're doing a good job. I mean, we get paid, but come on, let's not get ahead of ourselves here. To recognize what we do on this little channel is awesome. It really is. But of course, I mean, the highlight is the Eddie Hearn interview. That was fun. I think I asked some good questions. I asked some good follow-ups. There's some questions I wish I would have asked, and some follow-ups I wish I would have asked. But let's get into the AJ Ruiz Ortiz, that whole mess. I know you want to talk about that, Rob. I know obviously a lot of our listeners want to talk about that and discuss that. Hear us talk about it. So let's play Eddie's sort of response to the Luis Ortiz article on Boxing Scene, talking about him turning down a $5 million offer and asking for $10 million. And Boxing Scene said multiple sources have informed Boxing Scene this. Keith Idek is the one that wrote this. And then obviously I asked Eddie about this. So let's hear Eddie's words about this, Luis Ortiz, all that fun stuff.
Luis Ortiz recently was reported by Boxing Scene that he asked for $10 million for the AJ fight.
Did he say that?
That's what the Boxing Scene reported, that number. And that he was only offered $5 million, which is around $200,000 more U.S. dollars than what Joe Miller was going to be guaranteed to get.
All three of those statements are wrong.
But that's what just was being reported.
But I'm just telling you, all three of those statements are wrong. So you're wrong what Jarrell Miller was getting, not you, but they were wrong what Luis Ortiz asked for, and they were wrong about what it was.
Was Jarrell Miller being offered more, or being guaranteed more, being guaranteed less?
No, not far away from those numbers. Ortiz was offered a lot more than that, what you just said.
A lot more than the $5 million?
Yes, and next week, when everything is said and done, I will expose Team Ortiz in triumphant fashion, because I was really pissed off with that story. I actually texted Jay Jimenez and I said, "Are you fucking serious? Like, we've been negotiating. It's all in black and white. I'll show you.
Maybe that's
I'll show you
your
it
job,
now.
but
I'm not going to do it yet.
You know,
because I'm
like
fed
that
up
get
with
slapped.
people lying about Anthony Joshua. Now, Joshua's the one who came out and went, "Yeah, I'll fight Luis Ortiz." Even the trainer said, not being funny, "You've got 4 weeks of sparring. Okay, you've got 8 spars. You're going to switch up to southpaw." And he went, "Yeah." So we made the offer, 2 offers in fact. Like, when you compare that to what he made to fight Wilder, but I'm not going to go into it now. I want to so badly, but I'm going to wait till we announce the fight, and then I'll talk to you all next week in Vegas about exactly all the numbers and everything and what these people turned down.
So obviously that's Eddie's response to Luis Ortiz. We'll talk about him talking about Ruiz and Hunter and who's the front runner, or them not having a front runner for the AJ fight yet in a bit. But let's tackle this Luis Ortiz offer, because I feel like a lot of people in the bubble are debating this, right, Rob? We have like the LDBC side of it, obviously on Luis Ortiz's side in a sense, and I think it's pretty clear here. If Eddie is saying that he's offering a lot more than the $5 million, I'm assuming that a lot more is in the 7-figure range, right? Like he's offering at least $1 million more, I would assume.
Yeah, I've seen sketchy so-called reports of 7.
Yeah, I've seen those too. I'm not gonna go off that number, but I'm assuming he's at least offering $1 million more than the $5 million. On top of that, we hear Eddie sort of refuting the 4.8 million guarantee pay for Jared Miller, which is interesting because he made it seem he didn't really specify, but he made it seem like he was going to get paid less than that. And we've been hearing, and again, in Mike Coppinger comes out today saying Joe Miller was supposed to get paid $6.5 million. I would like a actual number to come out. That would be nice, just for all of us as reporters can get one number and to keep it straight, because it is a big difference.
I think Dan broke down that 6.5 as like certain was a guarantee, certain was if it done us over 1 million UK pay-per-views, Miller was getting some of it, and it was believed to be like in a total.
I understand that, but if you're a journalist, you should not be putting out that number without those caveats, because it makes it seem like that's the base pay. That's the framing of it, at least. Because base pay is always the most important thing. Like, what are you guaranteed no matter what to get paid? That's what matters, especially with this new DAZN and ESPN Plus streaming requirements for pay, right? That it's a major requirement. It's a major deal now. What's your guarantee base pay? If Jared Miller is now getting paid less than $4.8 million, which is what Eddie alluded to, in my opinion, that's a big difference from 6.5. So we need to know that number first off. Secondly, I really wish we do know the number that Ortiz was offered, and that especially the second offer, because assumingly the second offer was more than the first offer, right? That just makes sense. And if Ortiz, again, like I've stated this on the show, if Ortiz is not getting paid well above what Jared Miller was getting paid, then I think he has every right to turn down the offer. Seemingly, that's not the case. Now, I do want to wait for Eddie to bring the receipts like he says he will, obviously, but under the pretext of Eddie's right here, let's just do that for a second, because he says he has documentation. He says he's going to release it. Let's go on the ledge that Eddie's right, and they offered him a lot more than $5 million. Ortiz probably should have took the offer. However, if he, and Eddie said this, he wasn't training. If Ortiz wasn't training and that is the main issue, then say that's the main issue. Yeah. And I get that. And say, look, like I haven't been training. I'll take the fight if it's for some extreme amount, but I haven't really been training. I'm not in training camp. I'm not going to take the fight for just $5-7 million, because I know I'm not going to win. Like if and even he doesn't have to say that last part, obviously, because I know he's a fighter, or even if his manager, trainer. But if they said it and framed it something close to that, I think we don't care, right? But it's the back and forth. It's the mixed sort of message, the mixed messaging that they have.
Yeah,
it's not even that. It's first we hear, oh well, he's not training, so we're not going to take the fight. That was the first thing I think we heard, right? Then it's
too short notice.
It's too short notice. We're not in training camp. Like we've heard that. Then it was, oh, we're getting lowballed. Oh, now we're asking for. We got only offered $5 million. We were asking for $10 million. Like it has constantly been changing and has not been consistent. That's the issue with Ortiz's camp right now, is that their messaging has been completely non-consistent. And we talked about this with Wilder with in negotiations with AJ, is that sometimes the messaging is not consistent, and that hurts their case more than anything. So I think.
I was going to say, whether they mean what they're saying, it's always giving the UK fans or that people that don't like Wilder, for instance, that little that way in to say, yeah, but you said this or you said that. Just like when I think Miller just got announced, that Ortiz said, if something goes wrong with Miller, I'll step in and fight you, and I'll fight you for virtually any amount of money. It's then your managers should be saying, shut the fuck up,
Yeah, and then you just have a gag order. Like you have your manager or advisor come in and say, hey, look, Ortiz, don't go to the media. We will talk to the media. Put a gag order on your client, in a sense. No, that's what you do. PR reps do that all the time to their to actors or celebrities. They tell them, hey, shut up. They take the social media away and they say, you're not allowed to talk to anyone anymore. We're gonna talk to the media because right now you're saying all the wrong things. And also quickly, because people seem to be misunderstanding what I'm saying here. I'm saying if Ortiz was offered something that was similar or basically the same as Joe Miller was being offered, then he has every right to turn it down. That's not the case anymore. So keep up, guys. It's very clear what I'm stating here is that Ortiz probably should have took the fight if he was being offered $7+ million, if he was being offered a lot more than $5 million, especially if Jared Miller's base pay, guaranteed pay, was significantly less than what was first reported.
Yeah, I mean, if we're talking maybe Miller's guarantee was something like 3, and Ortiz did get offered the 5 originally, that's, $2 million more is, you start looking at, I kind of got what you meant when the other day.
But then again, he wasn't offered $5 million. He was offered a lot more than $5 million.
I wonder if Keith Idek was right, but that was the first offer because
I was thinking that too.
You know what I mean? And Eddie's like, no. Like, yeah, but by the time he's reported this, was that the case? When he was hearing this and wrote the story.
That was again one of those follow-ups that, looking back on it, I wish I'd asked because,
don't regret, Matt. Don't live in the past. It's all right. It's good.
Okay, people don't seem to be understanding this. Big Nick saying, Matt, can you explain why he should turn it down if he was offered the same amount, please? Quite simple. Ortiz is higher ranked, and it's short notice. I feel like that's a pretty neat bow around the argument of why Ortiz should be offered more than what Miller is being offered. Or what he was offered, what he was getting paid. Quite simple. Rob, do you disagree with that?
No, not really.
Because I'm not saying he should get paid $10 million. I'm not saying that. I'm saying he should get paid a lot more than what Miller was getting paid. And guess who agrees with me? Big Nick, Eddie Hearn. That's why he offered him a lot more than what Big Baby was going to make.
Yeah, I mean, this whole thing, I feel that Ortiz perhaps wants to fight, but his team was saying no, and Al Heyman's maybe saying, look, you got Wilder. I messaged Coppinger earlier. He sort of said, I said, when do you see the Wilder fight and Ortiz? And he said, end of year. So, but is Wilder, say it was Ortiz turned down the $5 million. Is he gonna? Is Wilder? Is the guarantee from Wilder going to be $5 million?
Of course not, guys. I made this comment to you in our group chat, and I know maybe you understood it, but maybe Mitty didn't. I forget who didn't understand the comment. I'm like, Wilder isn't AJ, guys. Like, we need to stop saying that. Like, oh, Ortiz only made $500,000 against Wilder in a pre-DAZN, pre-ESPN Plus, pre-Fox deal era, guys, where there was literally hundreds of millions of dollars less capital in the boxing world. How that means he shouldn't get paid a lot more for AJ. You guys think that people that fought Timothy Bradley and then fought Mayweather made the same amount of money when they fought Mayweather? No, guys. Like, it's when you fight AJ, you're going to make significantly more than what you used to make. Big Baby was going to make a lot more. No one cared. None of you guys cared about Big Baby's first game reported to get $6.5 million. None of you went out here and said, oh, that's way too much, like you are with Ortiz right now. So I don't understand this concept like Ortiz should take the whatever he's being offered and be happy with it. No, if the offer is good, which it seemingly was, then he should have took it. If the offer was bad, then he shouldn't have took it. And if the offer was the same as Miller's, then it's a bad offer. On the clear surface, it's a bad offer. I don't know how you can argue against that. If you want to argue against that, Big Nick, or anyone else in the fucking chat, call in. Mixed Combat Radio on Skype. Absolutely free, guys. I want the smoke. Do you guys want the smoke? Or you just want to hang on the chat on your keyboards?
Damn.
I'm just saying.
No, I know. But my point is that whether it's pre-DAZN, pre-ESPN, pre all this money, well, now all this money is in the game and the Fox deal and everything like that. But does Wilder still offer $5 million to Ortiz? I don't.
No, that's not. No, of course not. That's not.
Yeah,
of course not. That's no one is saying that.
Okay, no, I'm just saying.
Unless maybe some YouTubers are saying that, then don't listen to those YouTubers.
No. All I'm saying
No.
is, so why leave this money on the table if the big payday is Joshua and he's being offered it? I think
because again, like I've explained that
regardless of whether he's ready, I think this is PBC are not allowing this.
of course, like that's pretty obvious. Just like Eddie said, like he's going to send an offer to I think he sent today to Bob Arum for Ramirez Hooker. You think Bob Arum's going to let Ramirez go to the zone? Of course not. Like that's just not going to happen. And I explained it to you why Ortiz, in his mind and in his manager's mind, think that facing Wilder first is a smart move. Because they will make a lot more facing AJ after that. If they beat him. And they think they will beat him. All fighters think they will beat the best guy. And it's all about capitalizing on your time in the sport. Same thing with this might be a weird comparison here, Rob, but follow me. Amir Khan, right? He just lost to Crawford, but he made, $5 million? He's still going to make millions fighting Kell Brook whenever he fights him, right? Ortiz, I think if he faces AJ now for this amount of money and loses, that Wilder fight's not next. And at his age, that's an issue. I think AJ is in the need of U.S. names or U.S. sort of boxers that have been in the U.S., and Ortiz is valuable, win or lose, to Wilder in the fall. You get what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, no, I understand it. I understand. I think there's just an element of a lot of people want the Ortiz fight.
Of course.
And they're seeing him being offered a lot of money, and they're seeing him saying no to it, and his team turning it down. So it's the whole Ortiz is a duck and things like that.
And people saying that don't know boxing. Like, do people really think Ortiz is scared of AJ?
I mean, we've said this. I don't think.
I know you don't think that. I know you don't think that, Rob. I'm just saying.
Fighters aren't necessarily scared of any other fighter, really. It's about the right deal. It's about the right money. It's about, is it the right time? And as much as us fans hate it, it's not often we get what we want when we want it. So there shouldn't be any surprise.
And if you're Al Heyman and PBC, of course you're telling Ortiz, hey, look, here's the offer, but we would like to have you fight Wilder next. You know, like that's what we want. Of course they're going to tell him that. You know, and up to Jay Jimenez or whatever his name is, and Luis Ortiz to make that decision. You know,
and I'm just again, towards, Eddie showing the numbers, you know, if he actually does it, and expose him in emphatic,
triumphant fashion. Yes.
I mean, that sounds like a man confident in what he knows about the deal, in my opinion. You're not going to come out and say, no, he got a lot more than 5 million, and I'm going to prove it. I'm going to do it in triumphant fashion. And then he shows you, and it's 5.1 million. You know what I mean? It's like he sounded like a man confident in what he's about to say and maybe show people next week or whatever. So it's going to be interesting if that comes out. Hopefully, Matt's gets the nod for the. Is that the Canelo?
Yeah, I doubt it though.
Yeah, I did think he maybe got this one, but I don't know. Yeah. I mean, different promoter as well. I don't know.
That's true. That is true.
I don't know, but that'd be cool.
And I hope Golden Boy's not listening, but they are really unresponsive at times. So, like they're a little bit slow to the draw. So hopefully Golden Boy lets me know ASAP because I need to make some plans.
You found out for this card literally 3 days ago?
Yeah, man. Like that was.
It's always last minute, right?
Yeah, I hate it. I hate it so much.
You get a press release. There's a press conference tomorrow for Joshua versus. Like, wait, I've got a dentist tomorrow. That's how inconvenient. I could have changed it if you let me know a week ago.
And think about, like, I have to go to Vegas, so like I have to probably get a hotel or like find a friend to stay at, something. Like I need to know ASAP. And
arrangements.
But anyways, digressing. I have no further points about this Luis Ortiz offer. Obviously, if Eddie Hearn's correct and he was offered a lot more than that $5 million offer, then it's not a low ball. But I also don't think Luis Ortiz is, quote, ducking AJ if he didn't accept it. Or, when he doesn't accept it. I don't think he is.
Yeah. I mean, this low ball talk, it just seems to catch fire. I don't think there's particularly a lot of credence to then a notoriously low-balling outfit. I just think people see the AJ fight and want more from it rather than perhaps looking at the opportunity. They see it as the retirement money or I'm going to max out on this fight.
Yeah.
And, I wanted more than that. I got a low ball offer. It's just like word of the day. In my opinion.
Yeah, but then again, there was 2 offers. So when it was first reported that, quote, we were lowballed, that might be correct. It might be the first offer, because there was a second one. Obviously, there was some communication back and forth where they say, hey, we don't like this. Eddie then amended the offer and sent them a better one. What that first offer was could be the low ball. Similar to the $5 million from Keith Hidek. Like you said, like I was thinking that, like, is that the first offer that's been now being reported? Like the news is sort of behind.
A little bit behind because it only takes a phone call and it's old news. So
absolutely.
And also, like the Ortiz statement was like, and it's a gimmick. They told us to be, hush, stay hushed about it, but we're not taking this lowball offer. They didn't even send a contract. Well, if you didn't accept the offer, you're not going to get the contract, right? So,
well, it's the fucking contract offer term sheet argument all over again. Like, I hate that. Like, God, semantics up the ass. Anyways. AJ's next opponent, we still don't know. Like, I tried to nail down Eddie on that one, and
he's good, right?
He's good. Man, he sat on that fence like no one's business, man.
It's everyone guessing, right? Everyone tries to pick holes in it. It's like, I don't know.
I think it's pretty clear who he wants, though.
Ruiz?
Yeah, I think that's pretty clear.
I think so, yeah.
I think
odds-on favorite right now.
But like you said, the Hunter fight's easy. Like he could probably make that right now, but he wants to make the Ruiz fight, and that one's just a lot harder to make because obviously the PBC angle. And let's be honest, if you're PBC and you have Ruiz and Ortiz in your stable, both guys getting offers for the AJ fight on short notice, you're gonna let Ruiz go and keep Ortiz for Wilder. You just are, like similar to them letting like Felix Diaz go and fight Crawford instead of any of their heavier hitters, because of course that's what they're gonna do. Just the name of the business, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean,
but I actually like the Ruiz fight. I know people don't like it, but I like it. I think it's all right fight.
I don't mind it. Look, I was quite happy with the Miller fight, and we're in this position because Miller fucked it. He blew his opportunity, and we're going to get into the Miller news. But oh my god! But yeah, I don't mind. I think for a lot of people, he's come from nowhere. I don't think he had many fights. I think it's like 3 fights in 3 years. I know he just fought, so he's sort of back. His new deal with PBC, this, that, and the others. But if he gets the fight, good luck to him. Like whatever. But I don't know. Apparently, he's not fought on the East Coast before, or New York. I mean, so I don't know. It's not really going to be a huge draw, but obviously he's Mexican American. He would be the first Mexican heavyweight champion, should he win. But no disrespect to him, but he's got one of those bodies that...
Quickly, I don't want to see any slave comments in the chat. If you do it again, I'm just blocking you. Like, I know you've been listening forever. I don't care. Like, fucking be better. Jesus Christ. Back to you.
Yeah, I think, like I say, no disrespect to Ruiz, but he's got one of those bodies that are people that are maybe casual, like, oh my god, what the fuck, who is this? Like, it's just a fat guy. But
and Big Baby got over that in a way because his loudmouth. Like, people ignored that because he was entertaining.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
He was like, he wasn't. It was all the cheeseburger stuff and this, that, and the other, but it wasn't particularly. I wouldn't say he's like massively like fat. He was just like fucking huge, right? He's just.
Well, I mean, he HGH. I mean, He did have that look to him.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. We know why now. I'm not. I'm just saying his physical appearance. You know, if he put the arms on the hips, and made the pose, he did look sort of bodybuilder, air school, world's strongest man type dudes. But Ruiz is a bit more round in the sort of tummy area. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's my only thing is people are going to be maybe a little bit like, oh my God, who is this guy? But just don't forget why we're here. Miller fucked it up. It was going to be the perfect introduction to the American market.
It's okay, Rob. You don't need to defend AJ. No one's blaming AJ for this.
Oh, no, there are. Trust me.
Well, those people are stupid.
And when you say don't listen to certain YouTubers, maybe I should take your advice.
Dude, I'm telling you, I listen to 0 YouTubers in boxing. I can tell you the amount of shows I watch that are boxing shows on YouTube with 0 fingers because it's literally 0.
You didn't have to go through the whole 0 fingers bit.
I did. Nope.
Tell me it was none.
Nope, I did. Anyways, I accidentally clicked out of it. My bad. But my commentators reported Gerald Miller will not face a suspension because of the obvious loophole that he was not a licensed New York fighter at the time, and therefore he wasn't under their jurisdiction, and he wasn't a licensed fighter anywhere. So, and also, even if he was, that's not under their jurisdiction. Commissions, like let's say if he wants to go fight in Nevada or Texas now, they have every right to sort of
allow him
or deny him, in a sense. And yeah, so no suspension for Big Baby Miller, guys. Welcome to boxing 2019.
Maybe the most prolific case in boxing history of PED use, and he isn't getting a suspension.
And you know what? Doesn't that add to it being prolific though? Come on, it does, right?
Oh man, but I just hope then all the state commissions across America and everywhere don't allow him a license for the rest of his life. So in essence, he's serving a lifetime ban or whatever.
Yeah, I'm telling you, Chael Sonnen in MMA popped for those same exact substances, and I think one more. He's fighting like next week on Bellator on DAZN. And he's also one of the main commentators and analysts on ESPN for MMA. But you don't care about this shit, man. I'm telling you, wait a couple years, Lance Armstrong is getting a TV gig somewhere, and we're gonna forgive him. No, you joking, you're laughing, but this isn't a joke. Like people just don't care.
No, I know.
Jared Miller's gonna fight in fucking July in Poland, guys. Just accept it. Povetkin, Big Bay Miller, Moscow. Tell me you don't want that. Tell me you guys don't want that. Come on.
Let them fucking juice the fuck up and go at it.
Yeah, fuck it. Who cares?
Take what you want. Let's see it.
Yeah, we should just let all the fighters take whatever they want. Who cares?
Understanding.
Yeah, the idea that it's a fair, if we don't have PEDs, it's a fair sport. No, it's not.
Listen, right,
genetics.
I was saying this to someone. I think looking at it now, obviously Miller was maybe doing this throughout most of his boxing career with him not being tested and stuff like that.
All of his career.
Yeah, all right. Well, we still thought Joshua was going to beat him based on what we know. So all those PEDs, would they have really mattered? But these commissions and that are not going to take the risk of something happening. And this was spoken of on another podcast I listened to, BBC. I forget the Russian fighter's name, but in New York, he got quite a pasting, and he was checked out by the doctor. Said, "Yeah, you're good. You can go home. No worries." But his team took him to the hospital, and he's now still being physically looked after, 24/7. And I think the family sued the New York Athletic Commission, and they will not allow something like this to happen again. They went.
Yeah, but that has nothing to do with PEDs, though.
No. But it's had this been via someone who failed a test, and this. So they're.
But here's the thing.
Coming up saying that about New York being specifically quite strict.
I understand.
this incident.
I understand, but look, man, that happens. You can look at literally every case of a boxer dying or going to a coma. I think 0 of them have PEDs. Like,
Oh yeah, yeah.
Maybe that's obviously due to a lack of testing, but we have like, come on, like boxers are gonna get brain damage and CTE and potentially could die and get comas in the ring even without PEDs. So it's not really a difference. It doesn't add any danger in the ring, in my opinion. And if you think otherwise, show me. It's very easy. Show me. Show me one statistic to prove that. Anyways, let's stick on heavyweights and run through all these heavyweight topics because, man, I don't care about any of this shit, let's be honest. And I know you're ready for this topic, Rob. My competitor sources, Adwanaki is slated to square off with Robert Helenius this summer in a PBC fight. Wanaki was sought after for a bout with Anthony Joshua on June 1st, but said he already had to find the works, blah, 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 blah. Also, I believe somewhere he stated that, right here, Wanaki could get a crack at Wilder in the spring. It's important that he continues to win and look good. And that is spring 2020. At least that is what I'm thinking. I tried to ask Cop what he meant by that. If he meant like the fall. He just said spring, so I don't know if he has. I don't know if he's confused about seasons. Or if he just didn't want to answer my question directly. Either way, whatever. It's cool.
Well, I then obviously, like I say, messaged him after you had said that, and he believes Wilder's in end of year, so he must mean spring 2020. So yeah, congratulations on the different path. The reason you didn't take the Joshua fight for this different path.
And like, again, another one of those names that was never, I think, offered anything because it was pretty quickly like, hey, we're not looking for the fight.
They came out real quick, yeah.
Yeah, no. I don't think so. I don't think any offer was placed to Wanaki just because they were pretty adamant early that we're not looking for the fight.
Wouldn't that have been good if Ortiz's team done that from the very beginning?
It would have. It would be cool. But to add to PBC, like they have 3 fighters that were being sought after from Eddie Hearn and AJ. Wanaki's one of those names they could have let go and fight on that night, right? Like if he wasn't in the plan for this year, and you're really only planning him for the first quarter of next year for Wilder, then I mean you could have let him fight AJ, get a tune-up or two, and you could still have that Wilder fight if you don't want Wilder to fight AJ. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Like I feel like PBC overthought this whole thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I get them not wanting Ortiz to go. I'll be honest. I know I have some listeners that don't like me saying that, but we can all be honest here. Like Ortiz is valuable to PBC and Wilder right now. But Wanaki and Ruiz, like those are 2 names you could let go for a fight. Like those are the type of names that are meant for that in a sense. Because let's say Wanaki gets the fucking upset, beats AJ. Now you got Wanaki, fucking Wilder, New York, MSG, Barclays, wherever, mega fight. All the belts. It's this huge thing. So again, it was weird to me. Wanaki's like Ruiz. Like he could have been used as PBC as leverage with Eddie Hearn and AJ and Matchroom in some aspect, and it just seems like they overthought it and were too guarded about their toys, their fighters in a sense, right? Like
they want to move their chess pieces around too much,
Yeah.
But hey, it could have been beneficial, Suddenly you got all the heavyweight titles in PBC stable. No one will ever see them again. But there you go.
But yeah, I have no take on this fight. It's a shit fight. It's an absolute shit fight.
Yeah, I mean, we saw Dillian White, Helenius, not that long ago.
And that was a shit fight.
Yeah, it was. So he was really highly touted at one point, right? Helenius?
Yes, he was. Yeah, he was.
It just never seemed to.
But see, Helenius to me is like Chagayev or Usmanov, right? Like he's one of those names that like he gained a lot of not hype. Hype is probably the wrong word, but a lot of momentum through the sanctioning bodies, through certain media members and certain outlets hyping them up. Where I think we overvalue what they are. Like, I think at no point in time have Shigaev, Helenius, Ustinov, any of those names ever been, quote, good boxers. I just don't think that. I've seen them fight. I don't see good boxing. I'll just be honest. I think they are definitely a product of the heavyweight division being absolute dog shit in the last 10, 15 years. The fact that the ring bestowed upon Vladimir Klitschko and Ruslan Shigaev the honor for the lineal championship is sad because not Klitschko, but because of Shigaev. I think Helenius is a tall, awkward guy, and that is it. That is absolutely it. He's not good. He does literally nothing good in the ring. So I have no thoughts about it. It's a shit fight.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree with Potential Lunatic, and I think Fat Apple said it as well. But like a tricky guy to look good against is Helenius. It's hard to look good against them. But as far as like I was kind of like really interested to see what Kanaki was going to do. But I mean, the Helenius fight doesn't like excite me really. But if he blows him away, it would be quite, something quite impressive.
Yeah. And it's also just a matter of like, hey, the heavyweight division's not that deep. Like
true.
If Manaki wasn't going to fight AJ upcoming, and there wasn't a lot of names out there in the meantime, like guys that we know and like to be like barometer tests, like Atakam, are being used up. Brazil is being used up. There's certain names that you could see Manaki be placed in because of where he ranks, but they're all tied up right now.
Yeah. I mean, very quickly, I want to bring up about Michael Hunter. He was saying things like, Povetkin didn't want to fight me, so that fight fell through. Then it was all the AJ stuff, and people were like, oh, Hunter, AJ, or whatever. And then the other day, the story came out about Oscar Rivas, who in the past has been denied or failed medicals due to like eye surgery that he's had before. And the concern was ahead of this Dillian White fight that he might fail the medical. And Hunter put Eddie Hearn call me, like quote tweeted that saying Eddie Hearn call me. So he's just out looking for a fight, and it's as if, well, I'll take the White fight then. And he was kind of suggesting that it wasn't him to a point. So, and I think Eddie said yesterday to you that he's still fighting on the Usyk card, right? Michael Hunter. So
yes.
I guess that does leave us with Ruiz, but
it kind of seems like he's the front runner.
Yeah, and as much as recently we've all felt, oh, the heavyweight division is really spicing up. It's getting, what a good division. But when you really look at it, I'm not saying it's really lacking, but there's some guys on the come. There's like the middle ground's a little bit sketchy for me. There's some good guys coming up that maybe it's too soon, and then there's like the really top guys. But yeah, I don't know. Kaunaki, Helenius. Wait to see what Ortiz is going to get. I'm sure we'll hear news on that.
It's going to be bad. It's going to be really bad.
I wonder if it would be like Caballero. He's in the WBC rankings, the European.
I know. Oh, God. Heavyweight sucks, man. I don't know. Hey, listeners, you guys need to pick a new division to like and to like be casuals about. Because AJ Wilder ain't it. Like, let's just be honest. Like, we need to get off that train because
it really is it. But when is it gonna ever happen?
Fuck, man. Jesus Christ. Let's move on. Because we've been talking. God, we have so much to talk about, Rob. It's gonna
be heavyweights.
Oh, we should get into that because it is heavyweights. But oh god, we have so much to talk about, Rob. This is.
Dude, we don't need to say too much.
I'm trying to find it. Go and I'll find it.
Well, basically, earlier in the week, the British Boxing Board of Control...
Well, first, hold on, very quickly, we should say, Joe Joyce now aligned with Frank Warren and MTK as well, I believe.
I think it's Ringstar. It said on the banner today. It maybe is linked up managerial-wise, but I'm sure it said...
I want to say the MTK thing is separate and like today. I could be wrong about that.
All right.
But Joe Joyce now with Frank Warren, just for those that want to know, which is weird because he's PBC in a way, or at least he was. He was
Well, I think his advisor is still Al Heyman, I think.
Jesse Vargas' advisor is still at Al Heyman, so it does happen. Like it's not odd per se, but it's not the norm.
Yeah, well, as we know, Al Heyman isn't a promoter; he's an advisor.
Absolutely true. Absolutely true. But
earlier in the week, British Boxing Board of Control said on their website that Dubois and Joyce have agreed terms, fight date to come, and that then came out as it's looking likely for July 13th, which was the Dillian White date, but moved because Dillian White's now fighting on the 20th or whatever. And everyone was like, wow, fair play. 2 young prospects putting it on the line. Listen,
Arthur's
take note.
Quickly, Arthur is saying that Joe Joyce's U.S. rights are still PBC. So does that mean that now in the U.K. he's going to be on BT Sports and not ITV?
Well, I don't know. Yeah, I guess. Yeah. Well, yeah. If he's with
Frank Warren, right? Like that's
yeah.
That seems like a huge loss for ITV.
Yeah.
Like it's
going to be one of the British faces of PBC.
Yeah, and think about BT has like a Daniel Dubois, Tyson Fury, Sky obviously has AJ, Dylan White. Like you sort of need these big
Dave Allen. Come on.
I hate you. I hate you sometimes. Anyways, so it's shocking that this happened in some way. But anyways, connecting to that, IFL reported that Pacquiao, the guy you said, and Emmanuel Char are more likely for Joe Joyce than Daniel Dubois, even though I think it was reported earlier in the week, and this is again old reporting now probably, that Joyce and Dubois had an agreement in place for a fight later this year.
It was all agreed.
So
and then it was coming out, July 13th, and we're like, oh wow. Very quickly, just to correct you, Matt, it's Mahmoud Char now. It's not Manuel Char. He's changed his name to Mahmoud.
Is that a joke or are you serious? I can't tell.
Serious.
Really?
Yeah, I think it was even a boxing scene article.
I didn't see it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mahmoud Char.
Mahmoud.
Maybe Mahmoud Char will fight more often than Manuel did.
Well, my mood is to really continue the show and not talk about fucking heavyweights.
Is that?
You see what I did there? You see what I did there? That was good, huh? That was a good pun, right? You can tell I'm a washed-up dad now.
This is great banter. It really is.
That's so good. But anyways, let's talk about a fight that we know is going to happen. We've, I think, known for a while, but it's seemingly almost official. Mike Carpenter saying sources, Manny Pacquiao, Keith Thurman closing in on a deal for a Fox pay-per-view, July 20th, Las Vegas. Mandalay Bay was later said to be, I think it was Mandalay, as the venue that they're looking at because Pacquiao loves that venue.
But it was MGM, but anyway.
It could have been MGM. I always get them mixed up for Pacquiao. Because I know Pacquiao likes one of them a lot, but I always forget which one. Anyways, digressing. I like it. I love the fight. I think it belongs on pay-per-view. I do know that they are playing a July 20th Fox card as well, I think, for Caleb Plant. I would assume that's going to be like a prelim. Like they're going to put a prelim card, or not really a preliminary card because it's in a different venue, in different state, because that fight's going to be in Nashville, I believe. They're going to do like what they did with the Ugas Delorme fight with Mayweather McGregor, where they put that fight on main Fox, Big Fox, as sort of the lead-in to the pay-per-view, as like a 2-hour basic advert for the pay-per-view.
Like, wasn't it Adonis Stevenson was on sort of the undercard of Wild Fury kind of thing?
Yes, but it was in a different venue. Yes, absolutely. That's probably a better comparison. Thank you, Rob. Hey, that's why we pay you the big bucks, right? Not foo.
All right,
yeah. Anyways, I like the fight. I think it makes sense. If they package it up with the free Fox card too, with Caleb Plant as the lead-in, sign me up. I'm okay with that. I think it would be better to just make it one card and make that all pay-per-view. But hey, I'm not the one in charge here at PBC. That's Al Heyman. So your thoughts, Rob?
I guess the pay-per-view for the next calendar month has been decided. Which one you're gonna, where you're gonna pay? No,
No.
well, I just mean the next monthly pay-per-view coming out of America
2
has been.
months. 2 months away.
Yeah, I
Wait,
think
we don't have pay-per-view in May.
isn't June Spence? Huh?
Oh, well, that's not official yet.
Yes. Spence Porter. I mean, did
Yeah,
I say that?
and that's June. The thing about June for that?
I'm not sure, but either way, it's another month with another pay-per-view coming to American pocket near you.
Hey, but you know what? Hey, I'll say it right here, and I know you all hate me for this, but Spence Porter pay-per-view, I'm okay with that. 100% okay with that. Pacquiao Thurman, I'm 100% okay with that being pay-per-view.
What, unifying the WBA titles?
Get out. Don't you dare disrespect the WBA gold and regular and interim belts like that.
He's going to be the super regular.
The fucking audacity of you.
I think the IBO is on the line as well. I'm sorry. Yeah, Thurman Pacquiao, it's a real, from what I've seen, all the polls, I think the betting line, they're super close. What's up?
You're, man, it's been a good show, man. You know, we started off on a really good foot, and it's just been A1 the whole time, man. I've had a good time.
Yeah. But yeah, I think, like I say, the polls have been close. The betting line's real close. Is it a 40? What is he going to be? 42 or 41-year-old Manny?
Something like that. Something like that. Yeah.
40 odd.
Yeah.
Against people maybe think
doesn't have it anymore.
Doesn't have it anymore. Is the hunger really there? Is it come and get one last check? Who knows? Or was it just literally shaking off the ring rust from an injury and he's going to be back to his sparkling best? But yeah, so you got to, I don't know, really look at it and pick wisely and see who you feel is going to win this. I'm undecided right now. I think I'll wait and see.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, so but yeah, no, I think that's a decent fight and one that we kind of feel is the right path. I don't, some are saying like, oh, the winner versus Spence. Spence is going through everybody, blah blah blah. But someone's got to fight someone, and if you get a Manny Pacquiao on your record, whether it's a 40-year-old one or whatever, it's still there. But a lot of people didn't think Keith looked fantastic last time out. Again, was it Josecito Lopez?
Yep.
No,
you didn't.
So yeah,
you didn't look good.
It was interesting. Manny basically had to move his hands backwards and forwards against Adrian Broner to win that fight. So yeah, we're unsure. So we'll have to see. But yeah, I don't mind that. I just hope you guys start getting like the good undercards with these.
Yeah, I hope we do.
Pay-per-view, you get what you get if it's just a regular show that's not pay-per-view. That's fine, But pay-per-views, just sort of want a bit of.
I'll put this way. I agree. I think pay-per-views need depth. They need an undercard, especially for the hardcores. Like, it just helps us be more willing to let go of that $70, $75. I doubt Pacquiao Thurman has a really good undercard. Just being honest.
A lot of money going to those two.
Yeah. Spence Porter, though, I could see Spence Porter getting a decent undercard. Maybe not a great one, but a decent one. Absolutely. With some good prospects on the undercard. And plus, I know it's not Fox, it's Showtime, but it's still under the PBC umbrella. PBC is going to stream the entire undercard for the Wilder Brazil card. I hope they keep doing that because they seem like they're not consistent with it. That just needs to be more of a push from us as fans, us as media, that needs to be just a set standard that all boxing cards, every fight is shown. Whether half the cards on the streaming platform, whether half of it's on TV, it does not matter. Figure it out. The fact that you are on a major fight card and your fight's not being shown is not okay in 2019. It was okay in the 1990s and 1980s when all you had was a 3-fight card on telecast and that's it, and you didn't have fucking the internet. But move on, guys. You can do this. But let's move into some fights this weekend, Rob, because we do have a lot of fights to talk about. Start the one this Friday, tomorrow. Fuck. The one that I'm going to, which I'm so excited for, man. Me. But Siricat started Rungvisai and Juan Francisco Estrada. Their rematch last year, they fought probably not around this time. I think it was like in January or February. Fight of the year contender. One that a little bit gets overlooked in a sense. Also one that is hard to find now. Like trying to go back and find this fight is very difficult because HBO doesn't have it anymore. DAZN doesn't have the rights to the first fight, so you have to sort of find a link for it. Luckily, I found a decent link and was able to watch it a couple times. But it's pretty clear sort of the path of victory for Estrada. He needs to keep this fight at distance. And he also needs to be able to counter Rungvisai when he sort of explodes onto the inside. Rungvisai is a guy that he is a rhythm boxer. He's a guy that wants to throw 3 throwaways, 3 feints as he's moving close to you, and then unload his actual combination. And that's all rhythm. That's all timing. It's just for momentum in a sense. And you can upset that with a really good jab, really good counters. Again, really good timing as well. And Estrada was doing that at really key points in the last fight. He arguably won it. I thought Rungvisai won it, but it could have gone either way. This fight's going to be a bloodbath, and it's going to go either way again, probably. Unless we get Rungvisai knock him out like he did Gonzalez. But whatever happens, I think we're going to get a fantastic main event. Rob, I know you're probably going to send me something in the group chat right now, right? I know. I see it. We'll get to it in a second. There's some breaking news, ladies and gentlemen, but don't worry, we'll get to that in a bit. Rungvisai Estrada, the rematch. Rob, your thoughts on this matchup?
Yeah, I kind of agree with you. I'm really looking forward to it. I've seen boxing Twitter has been like just really looking for this. Is to many the best card of the year put on so far, and so many people looking forward to it. So many people looking to the undercard as well, saying this is great. It's just a really great card. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm hyped for it. It's like you said, great fight the first time round, and yeah, I saw someone earlier tweet. It was the face off at the weigh-in, and they're just like, oh my god, boxing porn. I cannot wait. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. Some people wondering if what was it? How did they word it? Not that Rungvisai is kind of, how tight is he at the weight these days? And just felt he could be moving up after this one, maybe. But yeah, it's going to be a real great. If we get anything close to the first fight, it's going to be one to definitely stay up for over in the UK, live on Sky Sports. But yeah, really looking forward to it. Really, I think it's going to be great.
I think Rungvisai wins. I think he's just probably too big, too strong. I think he's probably going to have to move up after this fight, in my opinion. Probably face the winner of the WBSS tournament. I think we're going to get a new way Rungvisai fight in like Tokyo. I'll be honest. I think that happens. Probably not this year, obviously, because the tournament needs to happen. But and Rungvisai is probably going to take a couple tune-ups in Thailand to keep, in shape. But I'll be honest. I think he takes tune-ups after this fight. Just being honest, that's what he will do. Yeah. That's how Thai fighters work. He's going to fight a guy that's like 4-3 in Thailand, beat the living shit out of him, and make like $100K and be satisfied to go pay his family and buy like an oxen. That's what they do. I think whenever we get that fight, that'd be great. Inoue, Rungvisai, that'd be for pound #1 status. I'm just throwing that out there.
Inoue knocks him spark out.
I'm okay with it though. I'm okay with it. You know me, man. That would be like a Teofimo Lopez Joe Cordina fight if they ever fought. It'd be tough for me, like having to pick who would win, and watch that fight. Like it would just be heartbreaking.
You're like spilling a drop of alcohol on the sidewalk for the loser. This one's for Teofimo.
Anyways, Daniel Rahman, TJ Doheny in the co-main event. I've flip-flopped on this fight a lot. I'll be quite honest. I think Daniel Roman should probably be the consensus favorite because he's, I think, in a sense, done a little bit more, proven a little more, been around a little bit longer. But
Better.
What was that?
Better as well. He's probably a.
Yeah, but that's what I'm gonna get to because Roman is quite. How should I use the term? And this might seem disrespectful, but he's a little bit basic in a way. Like, there's not a lot of variety to his game. There's not a lot of variety to his punches, his setups, his entries. There's nothing really out of the norm. Doheny has a little bit of flair to him, a little bit of variation in his style and his setup that gives me pause. That Roman is the technically more fundamental fighter. He is the more efficient fighter. He is by far the more experienced fighter. But Doheny is the more variable in there. He is by far the guy that he could surprise you more in this fight. If Roman wins, it'd be pretty, not clinical, but it'd be predictable, if that makes sense. Like how he wins and how it will look, we can all imagine. Doheny winning, there's an element of surprise to it. He will have to bring something out of his toolbox, out of that hat, and pull off a magic trick. I don't know if he does it, but you know what? I'm going to go on a limb. I'm picking Doheny to win by decision. You know me, Rob. I need a new like Irish UK fighter to fall in love with after Carl Frampton lost to Warrington, man. Like, I need a new guy in the low weight classes that I can be a fanboy for, man. Because Warrington, even though, you know, I like Warrington, but he beat Frampton, so it's like that always will be there. Doheny, though, if he beats Roman in a spectacular fight that could steal the show on this night, it would be awesome. But this, I know that's an underdog pick. I know I'm picking him to win because I think he has a little more style to his game, but that's not a lot to go off of. So if you pick Roman, I completely understand. Rob, your thoughts on this co-main event?
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I think this could maybe steal the show. My only fear is, like you said about Doheny, I think he does it in spots, and
yes.
I mean he is a plus 450 going into this, and Roman is a minus 600, so he's heavy favorite, Daniel Roman. But I think he looked real good on his I think it was his DAZN debut out in America in spots. There was times I thought, oh, he looks real slick, real sharp. He's going to get him out of here. And then he kind of got touched up a bit and kind of as if like switched off. I think as well, was there a cut or?
Yeah, he's definitely a guy that's, it was, I think it was a cut. I think it was a nasty cut from what I remember. But he's definitely a guy that switches off. Like he reminds me of like really a hyperbolic comparison. I understand that. Follow me here. I was not going to say Amir Khan at all. I mean, actually far more hyperbolic than that.
Oh my God.
You know, like when Canelo really early in his career had those the spurts of like head movement, and you're like, oh, like there's something there. But it took him years and years to really create a game around that and to be efficient and to be consistent with those spots for a 12-round fight. Doheny kind of reminds me of that, where like there are spots where I'm like, ooh, that's nice. Do more of that, please. Please. Because like if he can do that for 12 rounds, he could really be a game changer at 122. Because 122, we have to admit, is a wide open division. The winner of this fight is the guy at super bantamweight. Just he is the guy. I don't think Navarrete or Dogbe is that guy right now. Let's just be honest. I don't think Ray Vargas is that guy right now. Let's be honest. But the winner of this fight is. And if Doheny is able to sort of put it together, I think it's a sign that he's about to really have a meteoric rise from a technical aspect. Because he's a young guy that has the apparent skill and talent to really reach that high level. Like, Roman seems a little bit like a basic Mikey Garcia in a way, just being honest.
Yeah. I must admit, I am just really looking forward to it, because if I think Doheny can be on point, I think it could be a really interesting fight. But I just want to see him do what he can do for the duration of the fight or for longer spots of the fight, and obviously tidy up a little bit defensively. But these small weights, they throw hands. It's generally good fights and a bit of a war. So we could have 2 back-to-back real fight of the year contenders, co-main and main. So I'm really looking forward to it.
Absolutely. We're not going to go really in depth with the rest of the card, but a quick shout out to everyone else on the undercard. Jesse Vargas, Humberto Soto, Anthony Sims versus Vaughn Alexander.
Shout out to Anthony Sims.
Shout
Giving me a bit of time yesterday. Cool guy.
Awesome guy.
Love.
Shakram, God, these names. Gisioff versus Emmanuel Taylor. That should be a really good fight. Shakram looks like he could be something. Ronnie Rios versus Daniel Olea. That should be an all-action sort of slugfest, a sloppy brawl for the local audience. Alberto Milan, who's 4-0, who's a really good prospect, really good pedigree, fighting Isaac Zarate. That's a surprising matchup. Look out for that one. Diego Pacheco, Austin Williams making his debut. Some really good prospects on this card. Top to bottom, there are names that you should kind of pay attention to if you're a hardcore fan. And again, this is a hardcore show. Don't expect it to be anything else but that.
It's quickly Gearsoft, I think.
Gearsoft,
actually co-promotional deals signed and sealed delivered today.
I thought they announced that at the press conference yesterday. Like when you sent that to them, like that, well, he was like he was there. But maybe that wasn't like official as like a co-promoter deal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That does happen. But before we head to the next card on Saturday on DAZN as well, let's quickly touch on this news topic that, Rob, I want you to sort of have your quick take on, and then we can move on because it's not for me. World Boxing Super Series inks a pact with Sky Sports and Matchroom. So now World Boxing Super Series will be on Sky Sports going forward, including this Saturday's card with Regis Prograis and Kaylee Raylick, and Nonito Donaire versus now Stephen Young, because Zolan Tete injured his shoulder and is now out of the tournament. So, Rob, your thoughts on the now Sky Sports deal with World Boxing Super Series?
Yeah, I think it's great. It's a real, especially regarding like Josh Taylor in the next semi-finals in the other weight class. Josh Taylor, and we get to see like a Nui on Sky. It's going to be amazing, but a real, I think, opportunity for Josh Taylor to be seen on Sky Sports winning the world title. A lot of shine. He'll get a lot of push behind it. I think I was so happy. I thought Eddie had a dinner with Sutherland a few months back, and that was my guess. We're getting the World Boxing Super Series on Sky, but it was actually they were talking about signing Higrovich, I think it was in the end. But then, like you say, the other day, Eddie having lunch with Kelly Sutherland, Eddie put out a little video and broke the news. I'm really happy with that. ITV kind of messed it up, and trying to rely on the World Boxing Super Series website was never something easy to get through. It was always a bit sketchy and annoying. So yeah, Sky Sports, happy days. I'm really pleased with that. Great, and kind of a lot of criticism has been sort of headed at Eddie for not putting great content on Sky. Well, Sky have gone out and got the World Boxing Super Series, so some good stuff for the British fight fans. So yeah,
absolutely real. Let's talk about that World Boxing Super Series card this weekend, which obviously took a big hit with Tete being injured and now out of the tournament. I think obviously a lot of people are thinking that Tete and Inoue were going to be in the finals together. Now that's not going to happen. Rather unfortunate. But we still get Regis Prograis, Kaylee Raylick, which I think is going to be a sleeper to steal the weekend. I know we have Rungvisai, Estrada, and Roman and Doheny, but we have Prograis Raylick, which to me screams an amazing fight. Raylick is a guy that has all pressure, all action, all volume, and Prograis is the technician. He's the guy that is super sublime, the artistic expression of boxing personified in the ring. That is Prograis. Raylick is chaos, brutality personified in the ring. Those two clashing together, I think it's going to be a fantastic fight. I'm picking Prograis to win. I think he is just a class above Raylick, but this to me is a sleeper again for not only stealing the fight of the weekend, But fight of the year. Rob, your thoughts on this DAZN main event?
Yeah, I like the fight. I think it could be, a good fight. But I'm gonna definitely lean towards Prograis.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna show us. He is legit. He is a good fighter, and
This might end up like a Caleb Plant Uzgaptiki fight, where we think it's going to be this really great fight heading into it, but then it's a 12-round clinic, right? Where Prograis shows that he is levels above. It could end up being like that. I wouldn't be surprised.
yeah, I mean they've got Prograis even a more hotter favorite than Danny Roman, and Relic is a bigger underdog than Dehaney.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he's a plus 500 or 5-1.
Oh, it's kind of close though.
Yeah, but I mean, Prograis is odds on to win by knockout as well. So
really,
yeah,
I don't see a knockout. Relic is tough.
Yeah. Well, if you think it's going the distance, Prograis by decision is 2-1.
Ooh. I don't bet money because I'm poor, but for those out there that have money to bet, that might be the card, right? Just saying. Co-main event, no need to Donaire, Stephen Young. I mean, I have no. It's a shame it's not Tete. I think even Donaire Tete fight was really exciting. Like there were some questions there. I thought Donaire looked great against Burnett, even though that fight ended obviously in an anticlimactic injury fashion. But before that finish, Donaire was looking good, right? Like I would say the weight cut didn't look too bad. I think he was winning by the time of that weird stoppage. So I was looking forward to the Donaire Tete fight. I thought it was going to, tell us a lot about Tete, who has still some question marks, guys, and tell us a lot about Donaire, where he is at in this division, and how that weight cut is for him still to this day. I think Donaire is going to win by KO or TKO late, round 8, 9, 10. The rest of the undercard, I'd have really no opinion about, though Selena Barrios, the sister of Mario Barrios, who's a PBC fighter, is on this undercard, and she's been a lightweight prospect for a while now. Wouldn't be surprised if in the next 2 or 3 years she gets positioned to a Katie Taylor fight. But Rob, your thoughts on Donaire and any sort of highlights of the undercard you want to point out?
Yeah, I'm not sure about the opponent for Donaire. I don't know. I'm not really.
Who the fuck is that guy?
Well, he's somebody. I think he's like number 5 or something in one of the governing bodies. I'm not sure, but yeah, it's a shame because I was looking forward to that fight. It's going to be a good fight, I think. But Donaire gets through the first fight due to Ryan Burnett getting some kind of spinal, broke my back, and then Tete falls out of the semi-final, and Donaire's he had the easiest, clearest path straight through to the final. It looks that way, right? But
we're getting Inoue Donaire in Japan. It's gonna be a big fight, and Inoue is gonna retire Donaire in vicious fashion, guys. It's not gonna be pretty.
Yeah. Yep. He's gonna wish his back broke in the first round.
I cannot wait for that. Last card of the weekend that we have to talk about, which is kind of, I think, slipping under the radar a bit. A, because there's not a lot of marketing behind it, and B, for us hardcores, it's the third card of the weekend in a sense. There is a Daniel Dubois fight as well, but I think his opponent just got injured or something, or they're trying to look for a last-minute opponent. So I'm not really going to talk about that card because we don't know who Dubois is even fighting. I have real no thoughts about it. But Robert Easter Jr. fighting his first fight from the Mike Garcia loss against Rances Barthelemy. A really, really tough comeback fight for Rances Barthelemy. On top of that, Victor Postal on the undercard, Justin De La Roche, F.A. Agabi, Jezreel Corrales, who we've been missing for some time. He comes back on this undercard as well. So a lot of boxing over this weekend, guys, to watch. But Robert Easter, Barthelemy, I'm picking Easter. I think he's by far the more active, accurate puncher of the two. Rances, to me, is one of those very frustrating Cuban boxers where he doesn't throw enough. Like, that is simply his issue, is that he will just sit in the pocket and just sort of, slip shots, roll with shots, take shots to the body, to the arms, and he just does nothing. And he just loses rounds. That's what he does. I think Easter's going to be more active, and he'll be able to match Barthelemy's height and reach. So I'm picking Easter by clear decision. And the rest of the undercard should be fun to watch as well. Can't wait to see my boy Jezreel Corrales again. I've always been a big fan of him. Rob, your thoughts on Robert Easter and his comeback fight against Barthelemy?
I've never been really big on Robert Easter, to be honest.
Either guy.
He's a big favourite, though, going into this. Barthelemy is a 5-1 outsider as well. So, and Robert Easter is on -800. Now I've seen the betting line, I'll probably change my prediction to a Robert Easter win, but it's not often the bookies get those kind of odds all kind of messed up. So I don't know. I feel this is a tough fight for both guys in a way, coming off their losses. So yeah, we'll see. I don't know if ITV are picking this up. I'm not sure.
It doesn't say on Box Rec. It doesn't say.
Oh, okay. I guess not then.
No.
All right. Okay. But yeah, who else on the undercard? I did just
Victor Postal, F.A. Agabi, Jezreel Corrales. That's one of the big names.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully F.A. has an opponent at the beginning of round one. He doesn't, obviously walk out the arena. Victor Postal.
2 former champions on the undercard. I like that.
Yeah. It's hard to be excited about it when I know it's a different day, but this weekend is purely Rungvisai Estrada.
Well, there's just too much boxing. Like, that's just simply what the issue is. Like, there's just so much good boxing this weekend. Think about how much bad cards we've had recently, Rob. Like, think about like the Vajdik Ogabo fight, like whatever that was, right? We've had literally shit card after shit card recently. It's nice to have 3, I would argue, awesome cards back to back to back. Like that's rare. Even though it's too much, all these cards are good. Like, not a single of these cards I would say is a bad card. Not at all.
No. Yeah, it's I don't know. Do you feel is Prograis big enough or got enough hype about him that
already know? I don't know what you're going to ask, but it's already no.
I'm trying to think of something that makes the no wrong. No, it don't matter.
We're gonna
just felt like the to get not more views or anything like that, but to take quite a bit of attention away from Easter Barthelemy.
I think for the hardcores, yes, but then again, like, we don't know the numbers on DAZN, and historically speaking, Prograis isn't a guy that does numbers. He just isn't. TV numbers, he doesn't really pull. Attendance, he's never really been a big guy that draws in people to buy tickets. Like, he's just not a draw. Fantastic talent, not a draw.
No, fair enough. I was just posting the question to an American,
I think Prograis' brand is very low at this point. Like, the brand awareness is quite low at this point. Even though he's like
people going, Prograis a beast, and Prograis this, Prograis that. But maybe, just sort of in that bubble of...
I think that's one of those in the bubble.
Yeah.
Quickly, let's... it was earlier reported... I'm going to try to connect some topics here together for the sake of time. Declan Taylor over at some sports agency, whatever. I don't know. He just says he's... Oh, anyways. saying the zone match my closest signing Devin Haney, and WBC may order him versus Luke Campbell for the vacant belt. On top of that, after that, Eddie Hearn just hold on, Rob. I see you ready. Just hold on. Saying Luke Campbell shot at the green and gold belt coming this summer. That got my ears sort of perked up. That alone was in the topic list. But then we had
OMG! I am so excited.
Then we had some breaking news. If I can find it.
Now live on the spot.
There we go. Well, breaking news. Well. Welcome to the team, the brilliant, real Devin Haney. It's going to be fun. From Eddie Hearn. So, Devin Haney is now a Matchroom DAZN fighter. And
Where have I heard that before, though? I'm sure someone used to call in and say, I can't remember who it was. Who could it possibly
Anyways, so it's, to me, we're getting Luke Campbell, Devin Haney in the summer, right? Like, I think Lance Pugmire said, oh, well, this looks like we're going to get Lomachenko, Luke Campbell. I'm like, nope, I don't think that's it, Lance. Think you're missing something here, buddy. But Rob, your thoughts? Luke Campbell getting the shot at the belt, Devin Haney being signed to Matchroom, the obvious connection of those two stories coming out the same day. Your thoughts?
That turns me on. That really makes me horny.
Same.
Yeah, it's going to be. I've been saying this. I've been saying it. I know there's. I think now people might connect the dots, and it'll be Comey Lopez. I think Comey's going to have a tick over or a welcome back, test the hand kind of knockover fight, but I think they'll make Teofimo Lopez and Comey. But yeah, Campbell Haney, a great signing for Matchroom, but I think Luke Campbell beats Devin Haney anyway. So let's go, Great Britain, stand up, sweet Caroline.
Anyways, moving on. For the sake of time, because we do have like 4 more topics if I can get to.
So good.
We're gonna get a copyright claim. You know that, right? Abel Sanchez and Gennady Golovkin have split up, and Abel is very, very big mad at Triple G.
I didn't have the angry Chewy, but I thought Chewbacca's sometimes angry.
Yeah, I'm like, is Fu on the chat? Like, I actually looked like it's Fu destroying us. But look, I'm not gonna read all of this, but it's about money, and it's a lot of quotes, and there's multiple articles about all of this. Go read it if you want to see a very sad and bitter old man be sad and bitter. It's sad. Like, I don't know. It is what it is. It is what it is, Like, I don't care. I'll be honest, Triple G right now, my care factor is pretty low for that guy. He's fighting Steve Rolls next in a fight that no one likes and no one cares about. And him splitting with his trainer, he's fighting Steve Rolls.
I can't find it. It doesn't matter.
God, you let me down, Robert. See, this is why I pay Fu the big bucks, actually. I'm kidding. That's a joke. Fu doesn't get paid. I'm kidding. He does, guys. He does. Anyways, Abel, work on yourself, man. It's sad. It's sad.
Just forget the Steve Rolls one. But who's one of the Charlies fighting?
He's fighting the great Brian Adams. Yeah, I'm like, Tony Harrison, what? Like,
yeah, what? Is it George Harrison? My sweet lord.
Anyways, Rob, I could give 2 shits about what Triple G does right now and splitting with Abel Sanchez. Do you care?
No, I mean, I can't wait to see him link up with Adam Booth and get that crazy head movement going on, doing a bit of the Kelly. That's going to be fun. No, I mean, look, he's 37 years old. I think Eddie tried to tell you, or that, the huddle that you guys were in, that, you never know what a trainer might be able to do but I think at 37, really is he going to do? Does he even need an actual trainer at this point? If you know what I mean?
Yep.
Get some kind of coach, make sure you're ticking over right. But at 37, doing what he's done, I think he kind of knows how he fights and what he's going to do when he fights somebody. Try and knock their head off.
Absolutely agree. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, call in 323-870-4051. Press 1 to get in the queue. Number is right there on the screen. Call in on Skype if you're international. Mixed Combat Radio on Skype.
That thumbs up button.
Of course, I can do that. Do it. Last couple topics to run through. Rob Brandt, Ryota Moreta. Rematch finalized for July 12th. No one cares. Also, Marcos Maidana has decided to not come back after all. He is heading back to Argentina, and he will not get paid the $1.5 million for the summer return fight at 160 pounds. Quote, he simply lost the hunger, per Mike Coppinger.
I think
don't care.
The actual hunger might have kicked in because he's apparently lost 60 pounds. He's just really hungry.
Probably absolutely right there.
Say he can go back to being an Instagram legend.
That is true.
God or whatever, yeah.
Let's go out to Santiago in LA. Santiago, what's up?
Not much. First and foremost, again, congratulations to being credentialed and going to the press conference, dude. I hope you got my messages. Very happy for you here at the House of Santiago. And let's just get through most of these topics. Very big weekend. I had to adjust my DoorDash schedule accordingly so that I can make the most money that I can and still catch the fights this weekend. So I'm excited for that. World Boxing Super Series, tomorrow is going to be a very special kind of day to do those fight updates that I love to do. So I'm looking forward to doing those specifically. I am setting aside everything else just to be able to do those from start to finish. Obviously, I think Rungvisai is going to be the one to come out again, win. Maybe do it the way he did it with Roman. I don't know. I think it probably does go the distance. I do give it to him. Looking forward to seeing TJ Doheny in action against Daniel Roman. I like Daniel. I've seen him fighting since his days on Showbox. I think that if he does win, you're right, that it's going to look exactly like we think it's going to look, that he probably nullifies TJ Doheny and just puts on not a clinic, but a fight where you see that every time Doheny tries to do something, it gets stuffed. And so we'll see how that goes. If Doheny does win, it'll be exciting and it'll be nice to have a new face because, honestly, Roman isn't really the most active fighter either. I feel like it's been a while since I last saw him fight, so it'll be nice to inject some new blood into the division. World Boxing Super Series, looking forward to seeing Regis Prograis back in action. Another guy that I've been watching since the Showbox days, a guy that I've been super high on like I was on Mikey Garcia. Look forward to seeing him next against Kirill Relic, a guy who gave Barthelemy hell in 2 fights. I like the guy. I feel bad that he's going up against a guy like Regis. I truly think that Rigoru is going to come in, probably get the stoppage win in inside 8 rounds, move on to the finals. Donaire, what a lucky son of a bitch. What a lucky son of a bitch that in his first fight, the guy, this is where you play the soundbite, my back is broken, I still can't make heads or tails over what happened in that fight.
What do you mean by that?
My back is broken.
What, a vertebrae or what portion?
Spinal.
Spinal, man. Shit happens.
Seriously, and then Zolani Tete ain't getting injured, and we're getting some guy that we expect Donaire to beat out to make it into the finals. Yeah. Inua's probably I honestly am willing to bet that Inua will probably do worse to Donaire than what he did to Juan Carlos Bayano, and that was just 2 fucking punches, man. That was just 2 fucking punches. So it'll be fun to see these. Obviously, Saturday main event too, Showtime. Isa Barthelemy. Agree with you on that part too. Barthelemy's biggest issue has been the fact that, like most Cuban fighters, they tend to be more of the minimalist side when it comes to like movement and punch output, favoring like accuracy and counter punching over everything else. I do think it's a good fight. I think it's going to be a tough fight for Easter, but it's also a good fight for him to come back from his first loss against Mikey Garcia. He's got the size, he's got the reach. I think he'll do well. Definitely giving it to Easter by decision, majority maybe. And yeah, it's just going to be a good weekend. It's going to be a very fun weekend, a very busy weekend for me with the MCR Facebook page doing all these fight updates. I'm looking forward to it, and I can't imagine how you'll feel just being there tomorrow to, take in all the festivities and everything as a media member. So kudos again to that. If you guys have any other questions regarding any of the other topics on hand, feel free to shoot. Otherwise, that's my call.
Have a good one, Santi.
Catch you later, man.
It looks like you had a question there, Rob.
No.
Okay.
I thought you were going to talk. Bring in the next caller. But very quickly, apparently Gilberto Ramirez has officially vacated his title.
Can you say his first name again?
Gilberto.
Okay. I shouldn't make fun of you for mispronouncing names because I mispronounce everyone's name.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I mispronounced probably your name before.
More than likely.
Your last name is difficult, let's be honest.
Yeah. But Billy Joe Saunders.
There's too many L's.
What? All. It ends in all. Anyway, Saunders is going to fight for the title, apparently. So
against Ishii?
Ichifuchu, or whatever, isn't it? Yeah. I don't even know.
No, that was so good.
Yeah.
Saunders looks good under Ben Davison. I saw a little clip of him. Like, he does look significantly bigger. Like, I'm kind of worried about how much weight he's putting on for his style. Like, he's one of those guys that he should be leaner. But if he wants to eat more food and cut less weight, fuck, go for it. I don't mind.
It does look good. Looks strong at the weight.
Yeah.
But
Let's see how he does against an actual opponent. That'd be nice. Let's go to Gary, the good old Dallas area. Gary.
Yeah. Oh, you can hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. With Luis Ortiz, I don't know why you're just taking Eddie Hearn at his word. We all heard the same reports, and Eddie Hearn says they're all wrong. I mean, he could be right, but likely he's lying. We all heard 6.5 for Big Baby Miller.
That's not true. That's not true. No, we didn't. ESPN reported different numbers.
What number did they report?
4.8 million, which is the number that I presented to Eddie.
Okay. I've heard 6.5 multiple times.
Right, yeah.
Okay.
And again, Gary, that does happen. Like, no one knows the numbers. No one sees the numbers except for Eddie, except for the people that have been offered that. So why are we taking Eddie's word for it? Because he says he's going to release the information. He says that information's wrong. So I assume the next time he's at a media event, somebody's going to hold him to that. Like, I know for a fact when I see him tomorrow, I'm going to be asking him follow-up questions. But to say that we should ignore what Eddie is saying is pretty ignorant, right? Like, he is adding some valuable information to the discussion that we may not know.
I mean, only if well, like, it's like once somebody lies, like once you're a liar, like, when should I then believe you? He could be telling the truth, but like I have no reason to suspect he's telling the truth because he's not known for telling the truth. So, I mean, yeah, he could be telling you, but like he might also not be telling you, right? Like, after Hooker's last fight, he said that Hooker was fighting in Dallas in June. You talked to Hooker's team and said, yeah, we want to fight in Dallas, probably not going to happen, and we're going to be fighting in July. Well, after that fight, everybody was fighting in Dallas in June, and it was all set. So, I mean, he's just not an honest person. So, I mean...
Well, that's not... that.
Oh,
no, come on, Gary.
Okay.
Gary, wait, hold on. That's the example you're going to bring up about promoters not being honest, is that dates and venues change when you're months in advance? Really?
Well,
it's all right. Gary's believing Ortiz, the twice failed PPV.
I'm just saying, I wouldn't trust anything any promoter says at face value, especially that one.
Of
what
course.
I'm saying?
Well, Gary. So no. Gary, so what do you believe then? You're telling me what you don't believe. What do you believe then? Do you believe nothing?
I believe the reports that I heard. I could be wrong. Do I believe nothing?
The reports.
I mean,
what reports, Gary? Like
believe that they
add
were
something
somewhere
like say a sentence that's actually coherent and like a thesis. Like, you know what I mean? Like, don't tell me I believe the reports. What does that mean, Gary? What's your point here?
Why I don't understand why you would take a liar at his word. It seems illogical. That's all. Like,
Well, Gary, so you're gonna take Jay Jimenez's word over Eddie Hearn's? Why? Why is a boxing manager's word worth more than a promoter's?
Now you strawman me. Let's not do that. I never said to say Jimenez's word.
But he is the one that is saying the other side.
If Eddie's telling lies, then the other guy is telling the truth, right?
Or is neither one telling the truth?
I've made one statement. I don't take Eddie Hearn at his word.
That's great, Gary. Gary, we moved off that. We get that you don't trust promoters. I'm asking you what you think. What do you think
What
is?
do I think?
Yes. Fuck. Do you know what the question? Gary, let me talk. Do you know what the question is? What do you believe means? Like, that's what you think. What's your opinion? Okay.
No, believing and thinking is two different things.
Believing and opinion are exactly the same thing. Gary, why are we on this fucking issue right? Gary, I'm gonna meet you right now because I don't have the patience for this right now. I fundamentally don't have the patience for this. For you to argue right now with wasting my fucking time about, well, if I say I believe something, that's very different than saying I have the opinion of this. I don't want to hear that fucking argument, Gary. It's the same thing. Move on. What's your point? What's your opinion? What do you believe? You can say whatever you want, Gary, but answer me that, please. Okay? And don't just say, I believe the reports. What reports? What specific reports do you believe? That's all I'm asking, Gary. It's not that fucking difficult. Back to you.
Okay, I believe the Boxing Scene article that said he was reportedly offered $6.5 million.
Why do you believe that report over ESPN's? Or Lance Pugmire's?
I could because that was the first one I saw, and that was the one that was the one that came out right before the fight was announced.
Gary, you're telling me that you believe that story because it's the first story you heard. That's the basis of you believing that report. Hold on, Gary. Let me finish my point, Gary. Gary, let me finish my point. Gary, you don't have to freak out. I'll meet you again, and then I'll talk, then you talk. This is how it has to be handled, I guess. Okay? Gary, why do you believe that report and that figure over others? This isn't what Eddie Hearn's saying. This is other reports. Dan Rayfield's reported this. Lance Pugmire's reported this. And I think even Mike Coverage has come out in other tweets and said, like, look, the 6.5 is not guaranteed. Like, that's what he could get. Anyways, Gary, why do you believe this one boxing scene report of $6.5 million? And why does that innately, in your opinion, believe that Eddie Hearn is lying? That, and then also this initial. Anyways, I'm digressing. Gary, answer me. I'm going to try to be more concise than my question here and remind myself because I ranted for a bit. Why do you believe that report over others that are conflicting reports?
I'm sorry. I don't believe any of the reports. I don't think necessarily.
But you just said you did.
One of them's likely telling. Look, you made me pick one. I said I don't know what I believe. You made me pick one. So
but Gary, I didn't make you pick anything. Gary.
Let me
No, I'm not. Gary, it's my show. I don't have to let you do anything. Okay, Gary, you said I believe in the reports. I asked, what reports do you believe in? You said the 6.5 million. I brought up that there are different reports with different figures. I'm asking, why do you believe in that report over the others? It's a very simple question, Gary. I'm not making you do anything. If you don't want to talk about this, we can move on. Okay? But you are the one that wants to debate this right now about whether Eddie Hearn's lying or not. Whether we should believe Keith Idek or Mike Cominger with the 6.5 million over Dan Rayfield and Eddie Hearn. So we're going to go back to you, Gary. If I can click it. There you go.
All right. So, like, if we're going to keep muting me every time I try to get sentence out, like, there's really no point.
Well,
right?
Gary, it's quite simple. Be consistent. Be consistent, please. Don't blame me for your answers.
Okay.
Because you blamed me
I
for
didn't
your
blame-
answer. You know that.
Can I speak? Can I go?
Now you can.
Let me know when I can go.
You can now.
Okay. You created. Okay. Now is good.
I've said it already, yes.
Okay. You created an awful straw man and said, which report do you believe? Well, what if I don't believe any of the reports? What if I don't know what the truth is, right?
Then say that.
Well, which one do you believe? I don't necessarily believe any of them.
Well, Gary.
I did, but then you made me pick one.
No. Gary, I didn't make you pick one. Gary. If you don't believe in any of the reports, then why did you say initially, I believe in the reports? And then I asked you, which report do you believe in? So if you don't believe in any of the reporting about this topic, then why did you say, I believe in the reports? You said that verbatim, Gary.
That's not what I said.
That is what you said. You want us to rewind the tape?
We could play it back. I said, why don't we believe the initial reports? The initial reports were 6.5 million. Why wouldn't we believe those? Why would we believe Eddie Hearn over those? That was my question.
Well,
Said,
Gary,
why wouldn't we believe those reports?
Gary, it's a very simple question. Was simple comparison. Why would we believe in the initial pay-per-view numbers reported instead of the secondary reporting or the third reporting of those numbers? Wouldn't the later information be more accurate than the first information? Similar to like any news story. When more time gets past the event, we find out more information. It could be a school shooting. It could be anything. Okay? That's how news works. When time passes, we find out more information. Don't say not really. That's how news works.
That's how news works. So you're right. After a stories never get conflated. Right? That never happens.
That's
right.
Gary.
That never happened in the history of reporting.
Gary, I don't know what that has to do with what I said. I'm saying reports get. I'm all over the place. Gary, you haven't. You've said points and then said, well, actually, I don't believe that. I lied there. You made me say that.
You tried to create. No, you made me pick one. Which report do I believe? So I had to pick one.
Gary, I didn't. Gary.
Why don't you believe Eddie Hearn?
Yeah. Hold on, Gary. So you believe zero reporting and nothing of what Eddie Hearn says. So again, my initial question, Gary, what is your opinion about this? I'm asking you what your opinion. Can you state clearly what your opinion about this matters? Other than Eddie Hearn's a liar. I get he's a promoter, Gary. I'm talking about Luis Ortiz. I'm talking about the offer. Tell me your opinion, what you think about what happened. It's a very simple question, Gary, and you're not answering it.
Okay, sure. Okay, so what is your question? Ask a direct question. I feel like I'm in court right now. Ask me a direct question, and I will ask you a direct answer.
Gary, I've asked you the direct question numerous times. Tell me your opinion about the Luis Ortiz offer.
Objection.
It's a very open-ended question for a reason, Gary, because it's your opinion. I'm leaving it open-ended for your opinion. That's all.
Okay. I think Ortiz was offered in the ballpark of $5 million. I believe that he counted and asked for probably in the ballpark of 10 in hopes that he can get in the ballpark of more than 6.5, right? Because he already knows 6.5 is in the budget. I think 5 was the low ball offer. That could come back and be false. That's kind of my gut feeling at this point, is that fight's going to happen, but it's going to happen somewhere between $6.5 and $7.5 million is what Eddie's going to offer in the very near future.
Okay. And how is the reporting counter to that? And how does your opinion also counter to what Eddie Hearn is saying?
I believe him
other than saying that, I believe he was offered $5 million, which he could be. He was offered 2 offers, Gary. So he could have been offered $5 million. That's the point about what I said earlier, Gary, about how news reporting changes over time with an individual story because we find out more information. So absolutely, Ortiz could have been offered $5 million. I think that's probably very likely. But Eddie Hearn is stating, I offered him a lot more than that too. And right now, there's really no reporting countering that. See what I'm saying? Because that Boxing Scene article came before the interview. Do you see what I'm saying about timing and how that's important here? And why the initial story is often the most inaccurate story in a news story?
Yeah, but you're talking about a news story on a contract, not an event with moving parts, right? The contract says what it says. There's nothing else to.
No. Gary. Negotiations are a moving, fluid event. What are you talking about here?
Well, if you're talking about Big Baby, $6.5 million, that was a done deal. That was a signed piece of paper. That was a signed contract. So that contract says what it says, right? Like that should not be a hard thing to determine. The piece of paper says what it says.
It is a hard thing to determine when no one has access to
Gary.
it, Gary. It is absolutely a hard thing to determine. Gary, can you and I go on Google right now and find that contract? No, so it's not an easy thing to determine.
I'm on it.
Okay, yeah. I mean, you're talking about getting an actual picture of the contract? No, we can't do that. Not that I'm aware of.
So,
I mean,
Gary.
Bob is a Google master.
So, Gary, that's why when I talk about reporting, when we see the first reporting say $6.5 million, and then later reporting by probably a more credentialed reporter and a more credentialed outlet say a different figure, that number is probably more accurate because that's how news stories develop.
Okay, I've just Googled it and clicked images. I'm just getting pictures of really jacked up looking guys with cheeseburgers. No contract.
Okay.
And Gary, also, we have to say this. The 5 million figure, that 10 million offer, or the asking price, that's all from multiple sources. Who are those sources? I'm not one to say that that's an issue for reporting and that we should innately disagree with it. But when we have the person that is in the know in the situation saying everything that's in that report is wrong, and when we announce the AJ fight and we move past this, I will disclose all the information. I will show you all the receipts. How can we ignore that, Gary?
He sounded pretty confident that he could back that up.
Okay, well, have we seen it yet? Have we seen anything?
No.
It's not next week.
Okay,
Gary.
so say I'm going to. It's like the president said, I'm going to get my tax return. But he's been saying that for a while. It hasn't happened, right? I mean,
Well, it's not for a while. He just said it today or yesterday, Gary. Like he just said it yesterday. And he said specifically in that interview, Gary, look, if Ortiz still wants to fight, we can make that. There's a reason why he's not doing this exposing of Ortiz till the fight's made or not made. He's leaving the option for Ortiz to still take the fight.
Yeah, and I think Ortiz.
And he's on the and Eddie's on the record saying he offered him a lot more than $5 million. He's on the record saying that.
And what's a lot more? If it comes back at 5.25, is that a lot more than $5 million? I mean, what's a lot more than $5 million?
No, but you know what, Gary? The great thing is, I will see him tomorrow and I'll ask him that. And Gary, and that's like every fucking news story. They change, they evolve, they get more information. God, but Gary, we're gonna go back to you because I accidentally clicked the mute button. Totally an accident. We need to get your thoughts about the fights because you've talked about whether Eddie Hearn's a promoter and he lies, which we all know he does, for 20 minutes now. So do you have thoughts about the fights? Thoughts about anything that's actually happening?
My last one was: do you think Ortiz versus AJ is going to happen?
No.
Like, what is your? Do you think that fight? No, you don't.
No.
Okay.
I think Ruiz happens.
I actually think it's going to happen. So we'll see, in the upcoming days. The Rungvisai fight. Congratulations on getting credentials for that. Like, this is like sleeper fight of the year. The first one was a fight of the year candidate. This one is going to be a fight of the year candidate. So congratulations to you guys. You deserve it with all the hard work, and this is a great fight to be press row for.
Yeah, it's an awesome card, man. It's really, really fun. It's good to be back in boxing too, like back in boxing media events. Even though MMA media events are far better. Far better.
Really?
Oh my God, the structure of them, like how it's organized, it's completely different.
Okay. Is this the first fight you've credentialed? The first boxing fight you've been credentialed for since starting MCR?
Well, not technically, because I started MCR. I started MCR before TBV, before I joined TBV. So technically, no. But this is the first credentialed event that MCR has received. That is true.
This is the first one for MCR Net.
or any iteration of MCR that was previously called
2.0.
Yo, I still need to look and see if I can change that fucking name still, man.
Have you not even looked?
I haven't looked in months.
Oh, man.
I gave up looking. Anyways, back to you, Gary.
Do it now.
And then Nonito Donaire. I thought he could beat Tete. Who did Tete fight in the first round? Because I remember him not looking very good in the first round.
It was some Russian Eastern European guy. It was like Olian or Mikhail or something. It was some weird name.
And he looked not good in that fight, right? Or
No.
nothing special?
Yeah.
Okay. I remember thinking, I wanted to see that fight too. Because I think at 118, Donaire still has something left in the tank. Like, he wasn't going to beat Burnett, but he also wasn't totally outclassed by Burnett either. So I wanted to see how he did against Tete, because I thought, like, clearly Inoue was the best in the tournament, and Burnett was clearly the second best. And I thought Donaire was at least hanging in there through the first 4 rounds. So I wanted to see how that fight unfolded, and I wanted to see how we do against Tete. Now it looks like he's just going to go to the finals against Inoue and likely get blown out, right? I mean, he basically got 2 consecutive buys to the finals, right? I mean, so you got to love that luck. But if Donaire does get blown out, knocked out in 3 rounds or less by Inoue, would that surprise you? And do you think that he'd be done at that point?
Under 3 rounds, that would be a really bad sign. Would it surprise me? A little. Like, no offense to Payano, but Payano's known Donaire. Like, let's just be honest about it. I think this, if we get Donaire Inoue in the finals, I think it does get finished, but I think it does go rounds. Inoue is also a guy that, traditionally speaking, is a slow starter.
Okay. But Donaire is just so there to be hit. You know what I'm saying?
He is.
Like when Nieves lasted 7 or 8 rounds, he was off his back foot. Donaire's going to come after you. That's why I see this fight going disastrously wrong. And I think Donaire may still have something left.
You could be right. You
But
could be
thanks
absolutely
for-
right about the style matchup being worse for Donaire than others that have gone more rounds with Inoue. You could be absolutely right about that.
And then when does Inoue fight Manny Rodriguez?
May 18th, right?
That fight is-
That's May 18th. That's where we get Wilder, Brazil, and also Taylor, Baranchik, and that card on the same day. Except for the
Finally.
Brazil part.
And Prograis is going to walk through Relic, right? I mean,
I don't know.
I like Relic, too, so I'm not trying to...
I don't know if it's
discredit
going to
him,
be a walkthrough. Like, I know there's definitely a part of me that thinks, like, oh, we could see a Caleb Plant-like performance here. But Raylick is a guy that, I mean, he battered Rancies for 2 fights. Like, he battered that poor guy around, man. Like, I don't think it's going to be an easy fight for Prograis. I think he's going to win, but I don't think it's going to be easy. It has to be a tougher fight than the Terry Flanagan fight, in my mind.
Yeah, only an idiot would have picked Flanagan in that fight. I think that's... and Rob, I wanted Rob's take on the Ortiz thing. Do you think that fight's going to happen next? Do you think it's going to be Ortiz or somebody else?
No, I think it's going to be Andy Ruiz. I think Luis Ortiz has been available at the start of the week at like 3-1. He's now 11-1 to be Joshua's next opponent. If you think it is, Gary, send me the money. I'll put it on Sky Bet for you at 11-1. But I don't see it. I think he's speaking. I was speaking to Coppinger earlier. He feels it's Deontay Wilder at the end of the year, so I guess he'll have another undercard fight, which, despite apparently being one of the top 3 heavyweights in the world or top 4, he's predominantly just an undercard fighter. Failed to, impress in his last few fights, I think. And he's getting that Wilder fight at the end of the year, I think.
It seems like he would need to make that event bigger. Like, this could be a great month for DAZN, right? A 4-week span between that fight and the Canelo fight, where you could add a lot of subscribers, right? And really start to grow that and make that investment start to pay off. if you put him in the ring with anyone besides Ortiz at this point, there's just no appeal to it. Like I kind of think he needs Ortiz more than Ortiz needs him.
90 seconds.
Right? At a certain point, you need to start adding millions of subscribers, and I don't think Andy Ruiz adds any luster. I think
Gary.
Luis Ortiz does.
Quickly, Gary. Here's a trick answer for that. None of those matchups brings millions of subscribers to the zone, at least in the U.S. Like that just doesn't happen.
No boxing match is going to bring in millions of subscribers.
Like you would need Mayweather Pacquiao 2 maybe to pull in over 1 million subscribers in one fight. Like
Conor McGregor triple threat match.
Yeah, like you're gonna need something truly amazing. Like the UFC put on a spectacular card, pay-per-view worthy card for ESPN Plus for their debut with the ESPN deal, right? And they only got 500,000 subscribers on one weekend. And the UFC is a multi-billion-dollar company. So I don't see it. And there's no AJ fight. Even an AJ Wilder fight would not bring in 1 million subscribers on one night. I don't think so. And look, I even asked Eddie this, and he didn't go into depth, but I hope to get maybe more one-on-one time with him and talk about this more in depth.
10 seconds.
But he even said, like, look, DAZN does not need boxing to succeed. They got boxing first because it was a property and IP that was available. Everything else was locked up. So that's why they went after boxing heavily, is because these fighters were available. The intellectual property of this content was available, unlike the NFL, NBA, MLB, etc. And Eddie says they need one of those to really succeed. So we're talking millions of subscribers in one night or one weekend. It has to be one of those big 4 events. Or honestly, probably big 3. Hockey doesn't count. Let's just be honest about it.
Really? I thought boxing was a center, just from the amount of money they invested into it. Boxing was going to be one of their centerpieces.
Their
MLB
highlight show they have, I forget what the name of it is
Whip Around.
Yeah, is worth more than the Canelo deal.
Really? It's worth $300 million?
Yep. Because they have rights to footage. Like that costs money.
It's a pretty good show. Like,
is it? I haven't watched it yet. Do you like it?
Fan. Yeah,
I've seen a lot of good stuff. Other people saying it's good.
If I'm a baseball, I wouldn't pay $20 a month for that.
Of course.
I don't know. Yeah, it's got to be. You know what I'm saying? But they don't have any games or anything. They just have the highlights, which is a good show. But like, I'm not paying $20 a month for that. And there's not like a deal where you can only get the baseball side of it, right? You have to buy the whole thing.
Right? Why are you paying $20 a month, Gary?
That's what it is now.
You're paying it.
I thought it was 10. So
did you not do the $100 for the 12 month for the year?
Is that what it is? $100 a year? I should do that because it saves me $20, right?
But even then, because like Eddie brought that up, like it's only $8.99 a year if you do the $100. I'm like, well, let's be honest. Like that's like Steven Espinoza saying, hey, the pay-per-view is $65 in standard definition. Like that to me is almost what it says. Like it's not a 1-to-1, Rob. I will give you that, but it is pretty funny, like the framing of it, right? Yeah. But this was explained to me why like Disney Plus, right, which is opening in November, I think, is going to be $6.99, and they have live action Star Wars TV shows that they are producing. They have every Marvel movie, every Disney movie, every Fox property in existence. They're going to start making Terminator TV shows, Terminator movies, everything, Alien movies, Alien TV shows are coming out. Everything you can imagine that you loved and grew up on is going to be for $6.99. Why can they do that and DAZN is $20 a month? Well, it's quite simple for those that don't understand. Disney owns the rights to all those things. So, like, putting all the old-fashioned Disney movies on literally costs them nothing. They own the rights to it. And obviously, like, the production for the new shows, that's a new cost in a sense. But all of their old content is free in a sense. Like, it's free of cost for them. So that's why they can charge you so low. DAZN, on the other hand, they don't own any of the rights to any of this stuff. So that's why they have to pay an exuberant amount for all this content, all this IP, and then charge you a lot for it because they don't own it innately. Same reason why Netflix has slowly been starting to up their price because they don't own those TV shows. They don't own Friends. They don't own The Office. But they pay a lot of money to have rights to it. That's sort of the issue and why DAZN costs more than maybe some other streaming apps will or do at this moment. Sorry, that was just a PSA.
Yeah, and you're right. Netflix is increasing in price, and that sucks for the person who's paying for the account that I log into. It's my sister-in-law. No, I think that's all. Yeah, I still think this Ortiz fight's going to happen. I think Ortiz feels like he's in position of power where he gets the call, and he knows he can get at least 6.5. Is at least what he thinks. And I do think that fight will get made. And he'll get
Are you
around
off your
that.
tits? Have you been smoking something?
Maybe. Maybe.
Thank you for the call, Gary. Let's move on to our last caller of the day, Zulu on the Skype machine.
Salute, MCR.
Salute.
How y'all guys doing today? Hey, Rob, why did you let Matt cut his beard off, man? What's the deal? You know, us bearded brothers got to stick together. I know Fu should be. He should hear that as well. Bearded brothers got to stick together.
It'll come back in a week or two, man. Like, trust me. Like, this shit grows back so fast, and it's a pain in the ass. And to be honest, like, I know, like, maybe on camera it doesn't look this way, but it does grow kind of funky, like in certain spots. So it's kind of a pain. So at a certain length, I just shave it. I always do. And plus, I was seeing Rob's cousin, man, so I had to look sharp.
It's
it is.
definitely too long,
hey,
man.
Hey, great content, man. When I saw you guys drop, I got the alert that you dropped a little interview with Eddie Hearn. Once again, shout out to you guys and what you're doing, MCR. Salute.
Thank you.
And let's support everybody listening. Let's continue to support 100%. One thing I saw not strange about, but what was kind of laughable almost at the interview. Eddie Hearn shot down everything that was pretty much out there, you know, on the internet, so to speak. What Jarrell Miller was getting, he shot that down. What Luis Ortiz, people saying he asked for $10 million, he shot that down. He shot down pretty much everything. So, you know, he made it clear that they are still in negotiations. And the reason I say he made it clear is because whatever so-called dirt he has on Luis Ortiz, he didn't say anything about it. He said, I'm going to wait. And why would he wait? If you feel that Luis Ortiz and his team have put him in a unfavorable position by making certain accusations. Well, the only reason he'd wait is because they're still in some kind of negotiations, right? It's kind of like he was telling the caller Gary, there's no contract. We don't have any contracts to look at or anything right now. We're just going by pretty much the news that's getting thrown out there. But
how to call into a boxing podcast 101. Gary, pay attention.
Take notes, Gary. Zulu's the man.
I'm just keeping it real, man. I'm just keeping it real. So what you said was right on, man. We don't, news, as the days go by, the news will progress. There's going to be rumors out there, but he shot those things down. And I'm pretty sure when you talk to him tomorrow, he's going to, some things he's going to shoot down and some things he's not going to answer.
Yep.
And the reason he don't answer is because they're still in negotiations. So what the possibility of that fight is it still possible? Maybe. I'm pretty sure from what I got from the interview, it is. It's still on the table. They're going to have to give him what he need, what he asked for in a sense, though. To me, I think all of this could have been avoided if they would have taken the route and go after Luis Ortiz first instead of Jarrell Big Baby Miller, right? Then we would be the money that they offered Miller. They could have offered to Ortiz. I'm pretty sure he would have accepted it. We don't know what it is, though. Because people saying 6 and all these other numbers, Eddie said all of that was wrong. So we don't know whatever it was, but it was enough to make it was an attractive offer. If he would have made the same attractive offer to Luis Ortiz for the fight, there's no way he would not have taken it. So we can't say. So when people come and say he's ducking, I mean, I think it's the most idiotic thing you can say. How is he ducking when you just want to give him 5 weeks to prepare? And like I said, hey, that's the number 2 best heavyweight in the world, Anthony Joshua, next to the American champion, Deontay Wilder, So with that being said, there's no ducking going on. What did Luis Ortiz turn down? We don't know. We just don't know.
And plus, Zulu, like, Spence is going to fight Sean Porter in unification. Is he ducking Terrence Crawford?
Right.
Like, it feels weird saying that. Like, it would be the same if, like, Luis Ortiz wants to fight Deontay Wilder, so he's ducking AJ. Like, I don't really see the argument for that. Like,
right.
He wants to fight the guy that knocked him out cold. Yeah, he's really he's a scaredy cat. Yeah, sure.
Right. It just don't make any sense though. But but you putting some framework around it. So what you said made a lot of sense when you were talking to Gary. I was kind of doing a little chuckling behind it, but I understand the passion Gary had about it. But I just didn't. He just seemed like he wasn't seeing the real picture of what was going on and what's still possibly going on. We don't know.
And look, I'm okay with people being skeptical. Like, it seems like at the root of it, Gary just doesn't trust anything that's being said right now about this story. Right. And I get that. I completely understand that. And I largely probably agree with him. Like, I don't fully trust what Eddie is saying, but I don't fully trust what the reporting is stating right now. Like, there's a truth somewhere. It's not been stated yet, in my opinion.
Right. Because he really didn't say anything.
Yep.
He debunked everything. And he said what he did, what Eddie is good at doing, he left something on the table to keep your curiosity. After such and such time, I'm going to reveal this. What do you mean? That's just some playground kid stuff. What do you mean? After 48 hours or something, then you reveal it? I mean, come on, man. That's just it's insulting to an intelligent person. Now, you insult my intelligence by telling me you have some dirt on Luis Ortiz.
I really wish you guys could have seen my face, but there's a part in the interview where he goes, I could show you guys right now all of these emails, but I won't. And I am literally like holding in laughter and trying not to shake the camera. And Eddie's looking at me like, dude, do not laugh at Eddie right in front of him because that'd be rude. But it's like, come on, you can't like that is such a 13-year-old schoolyard statement. Like,
bullshit is what it is.
Like I'll show you you're wrong, but not right now. Later, like I have a girlfriend totally, but she lives in another state.
Right. And it's what's bad about it is it's not Anthony Joshua. So when I my UK friends, when I'm kind of putting the heat on Eddie, I'm not talking about Anthony Joshua. He's not the one saying these things or doing these things. But the way Eddie Hearn just kind of like presents himself, I mean, maybe he's under a lot of stress right now because this event, the only person who saves this event, you can call whatever name you want, is Luis Ortiz. It's the only person. And he knows that. We can put in whoever we want, you can throw out these other little names that may be interesting, but they don't have a snowball's chance in hell pretty much against Joshua. The bigger threat is Ortiz. It's the fight that should have been made in the beginning, though, in my opinion. And that Miller shouldn't have even been considered for this. But it went the way it went. So, I'm not going to beat a dead horse on that, but back to Miller, and I'm surprised, Rob, you didn't get on him. Rob, what happened when the breaking news came about he didn't get suspended? I can't believe that.
It
doesn't surprise us, man.
Rob,
this is
let him get
not
away.
America, but nothing surprises me regarding control.
Everybody's on steroids. The whole UFC, everybody.
That was here. The British Boxing Board of Control would have given out a suspension.
And it's pretty clear why there's this loophole, is that we have state commissions. We do not have a unified commission that oversees the entire country like the UK does. Like, imagine, I don't know what the equivalent for states are in the UK. Is it provinces? That seems wrong. That's counties. Like, imagine every county having their own individual commission with its own jurisdiction, its own rule set, and they can all be different. That's what's like in the US. And best part is there's even states that have zero commission. Like, I think like Montana doesn't have a commission, like Wyoming. There are certain states that have zero commission, zero regulation. So, I mean, I'm upset that he's not getting suspended, Zul. I think I would assume Rob is too, but at this point, man, it just is what it is.
He's just
trying to get a license anywhere. That's all.
He will. Texas will
get. I just want to encourage the conversation again about the PED conversation that you need to have, because I mean the listeners and fans need to really be educated in that, and because Now, this era, like you said, with Jarrell Miller's being accused of is very kind of different than some of the other PED issues that exist that some of these guys are getting suspended for. Like, for instance, marijuana, meldonium, which is actually good for an athlete's heart. That kind of stuff.
Or
It's not
Benavidez getting in trouble for cocaine out of competition.
right. That's kind of stuff. That's why the conversation really needs to be had with people that want to really come and say, let me get a greater understanding of what's going on with the PED situation. Let's not just, destroy the person, totally. But the fact is that it's my only, once again, on Rob's side of the fence, I got to support what he's saying. It's not available to it's illegal in the sport. So you got to do something with that legality first. Because if I do something illegal and you're not doing anything illegal, then even if I win, it taints the sport. It taints your efforts. It taints that level playing field. So, like I said, I think you're just the person, Matt, to have that conversation with the knowledge that you have about dealing with athletes. And I'm pretty sure you've heard it over and over and over again, because I deal with athletes myself, and you hear it over and over and over again about the ways of getting through the test, or the ways of avoiding the test, rather than abstaining from the PEDs. Pretty sure you have. But yeah, go ahead if you have something.
I mean, I do want to get into it more, but I want somebody that's more educated than me to talk about it as well on this show, because I don't have a degree in any of the sciences we will be talking about. I've read tons of reports. I've read a bunch of medical studies. I've read a bunch of scientific studies about this stuff, but that's only so much. So I'm going to try to get a professor on to talk about this. It's the same one that talked to Luke Thomas, but we're going to tackle it probably from a little bit of a different angle. But PED regulation as a whole is under a real transitionary period. WADA is currently going through complete turmoil. USADA is going through its own issues. And even VADA, like, I know people like VADA a ton, but I have issues with VADA. I fundamentally do have issues with some of the aspects of VADA and their funding. But that's going to take a longer, in-depth sort of either article or a podcast about that, and that's going to take some time. So it's just one of those, like, I need to prep for it. I need to actually get and do the research and do the study and get it all organized. Right. And that's just
But
a
it
lot.
would be an eye-opener to a lot of people. It really would be. I'm pretty sure that when you get your grips around it, it'll come out pretty good. But I also want to talk about some of the fights this weekend. In particularly the Rungvisai Estrada 2. Man, let me tell you something, man. Rungvisai is on my top 10 pound for pound. I don't know about you guys, but Rungvisai is the truth. When I say maybe not the skill, I'm talking about skill. When it comes to that dog in him and that punching power he has, man, you got to give him credit for that, though. So I think I'm looking forward to seeing Rungvisai Estrada 2. I think that's going to be another just a banging fest, man. So we're going to see how that turns out. Regis Prograis, I'm a big Regis Prograis fan as well. I'm looking to see him do well this weekend. I'm pretty sure he's going to win that fight, but there's some good fights on the horizon for Regis Prograis as well. Nonito Donaire, what I thought his eye socket was broke or something. I mean, didn't you guys? Did it heal or what? Or was he just avoiding Tank Davis? What's the deal? He's got a shot here, but to me, he should be trying to go fight Tank Davis, because he looks very bad, saying that something was wrong, and he avoided that fight. What you guys think about that?
I honestly have no idea what you're talking about with the Tank Davis and eye socket thing. I'm being completely honest. I have no idea. I think Nonito Donaire has no business being above 126 pounds. Zero.
No, I said Nonito Donaire and Tank Davis. Weren't they supposed to fight?
I don't think so. I don't remember that ever happening.
Huh? Wasn't it?
No, I don't.
Rob?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I mean, I don't think they've ever been in the same weight class.
Wait, yeah, who pulled out the fight with Tank Davis? last time, recently.
Oh, Abner Mares. You're talking about Abner
Abner
Mares.
Mares. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm my fault. I'm thinking no need Abner Mares. Yeah.
No, Abner Mares had a retina surgery.
Right, retina surgery. I got them two mixed up. That's my mistake. I apologize.
Yeah, and he's still I forget. I think he's questioning a comeback. He wants to still box, but man, retina surgery is serious. So
right, that was my mistake on that. Yeah, I got him mixed up on that.
Yes, different guy.
Yeah, and now listen, I'm gonna tell you another. Now, to me, another what I call a fantasy matchup would be Shakur Stevens and Gary Russell Jr. I don't see why we're not calling for that. What do you think about that?
I think we should get Oscar Valdez, Shakur Stevenson before that.
That's good too. Well, that's good
especially now with Oscar Valdez's next fight being announced, and he's fighting Eric. What was his name, Rob? Some dude named Eric Zalotti, something. I've never heard of this guy in my life. So fuck, man. Like to try to get a good top ranked fighter to fight a good PBC fighter.
Yeah,
man, we can't even get a good top ranked fighter to fight another good top ranked fighter. So that's asking for a mountain to move, man. Like I just don't think that's possible at this point.
Yeah, that sucks. Well, that's all I got tonight, fellas. Salute once again, brothers. Y'all continue to do a great job, and I'm riding with you.
Thank you, Zulu.
All right.
Thanks for the kind words, man.
Man, that Donaire thing really tripped me up for a second. Talking about Abner Mares. I'm like, oh, Abner Mares. I was like, man, Donaire.
Yeah, I bless him.
Yo, but then I was thinking, like, man, were they ever linked to fight each other? I'm like, man, maybe, but I'm like,
he nearly went on boxing scene and everything. Yeah, but
I was like, I do forget about a lot of things that happen in this sport more than I remember. So that was possible, but I'm glad we figured that one out. But anyways, that is it for today. I'm gonna go see Avengers in like an hour. Get hyped. Man, I'm so emotional, man. Here, guys. Here, Captain America is probably gonna die. I'm not even gonna look at the chat just in case of spoilers right now. But hope everyone has a great night, great day, wherever you are. Hit the like button, share the show, subscribe. Patreon.com/Mixed Combat Radio. $1 a month gets you extra shows per week, like last night's episode where we talked about Game of Thrones, previewed Avengers Endgame, and talked a little bit more about the press conference in detail. And a little more tea was spilled about the press conference and certain media members that I don't get along with. But go check that out on patreon.com/Mixed Combat Radio. I am Matt, the Hipster Hunter. Find me, Matt Hunter, MCR, all platforms. Have a great day. Rob?
Yeah. Obviously, thanks to everybody that's watched it. What?
Well, just like, hey, yeah, okay. You're just like, we're off in like your own land over there, Rob.
I was just looking at numbers. I think the 3.8 thousand on the Eddie interview. We gained around 60 odd subscribers. Totally worth the parking fee, and
it was worth the $30. The $30 parking fee and the hours in traffic. Yeah, it was worth it. Absolutely.
It'd be even more worth it if we were monetized. Everybody, get on YouTube's fucking case. Tell them what the fuck's going on.
Hashtag monetize MCR. Spell it. Shit. You can spell it like how you do in the UK, I guess, with the S instead of the Z. You weirdos.
Try and do nice things, and you get told you can't spell and shit.
I'm saying you can spell it that way. I'm just saying it's not normal.
Not normal.
There's more people that spell it with the Z than with an S. I don't know if that's true. I'm just guessing.
Probably more people in that country.
That's why.
Very quick shout out. I did enjoy. I'm really happy it was available on DAZN's YouTube page, but the Canelo Jacobs thing done by.
How was that?
It was good. Yeah, I enjoyed it. With was it LeBron James? That's right. And then obviously you get what's the show? The PPC show on Fox. You get the heavyweight champion of the world on.
Oh, Inside PBC.
Yeah, Inside PBC. Yeah, and then you get Inside Deontay Wilder's mind.
I still have never watched.
I've set examples of fighting the best. I've took lower risk and high reward, so we already know where I stand in this situation.
Lower risks, high rewards.
Hey, you told the truth.
But he also said throughout my career, fought the best. So,
half truth.
Yeah, but I believe Eddie Hearn more than I believe Deontay Wilder. So yin and yang, me and Gary.
Hey, you can't believe him because he's a promoter, and promoters all lie. So anything they say, we cannot believe.
Or any reports.
Or any reports ever, even though Gary 110% said, I believe in the reports.
I mean, if we don't believe in the reports or anything Eddie Hearn says, is this the last episode of Mixed Combat Radio?
Why do you guys watch the show then?
No, I'm joking. But yeah, thanks everyone in the chat. Obviously, always good to have you commenting as we go. But seriously, thanks to everyone who's clicked the videos from the media, the press conference that Matt went to yesterday. Real good numbers, and the comments and everything really shows some good support from everybody. Wishing Matt well and congratulations, well done, great interview, this, that, and the other. Maybe Friday, Matt gets the one-on-one interview rather than the media scrum, the huddle, where it's a little bit, a lot harder to get your questions off.
Fucking Radio Raheem and Seconds Out had to do like an hour-long interview. Oh my god. And it's funny, I forget his name. But I know him. But I forget his name. But I know him, right? One of those things.
Yeah.
And he was low-key throughout the entire interview that Radio Raheem had with Eddie Hearn was saying, yo, you guys filming a sitcom or a drama show over there? What are you guys doing? And, literally was saying that. But, not at them. But he was just saying it out loud.
Loud enough.
Yeah. And I was dying, man. It was great.
You see, you'd be glad that I'm not there with you, because that's me.
Oh,
I'm one of those people.
Rob, please. Yo, when we make it big, man, I'm moving your whole family out here in LA. I hope you know that.
That's what I do. I say things loud enough, which makes me usually get a slap from Vicky because, stop it, shut up. I'm like, they can hear you. I know.
That's the point.
That's right. But I'm saying it almost to Vicky loud enough that they hear it over there. And it's not like, what? I just talk loud. It's not, oh, sorry, did you hear that? Whatever. But yeah, smash the thumbs up, share the show.
All that fun stuff.
Good luck to Matt tomorrow at the fights.
Tonight, man. It's going to be emotional.
What?
Tonight, man. I'm more worried about tonight than tomorrow.
Well, good luck to watch a movie unless you're taking a date.
I'm not, but still. This is going to be a sad one.
Oh, it's a comic book. Get over it.
Yo, comic
book
movies can be sad.
Life, man. It's not like real life, like Star Wars.
Because that totally happened in a galaxy far, far away.
Yeah, a long time ago.
Yeah. Anyways, peace.
I don't believe it like Gary.
Are you off your tits? Have you been smoking something?
Stay off the weed.
Well, he indicated to me that he was hitting the testicles.
That's stupid. Use your common sense.
Did you just talk out your ass?
This is great answer. It really is.
Hey, pussy, are you still there?